We're falling apart over here, folks.
Sure are, man.
We are falling apart. Welcome.
You all
welcome
asked
to
for
the
it. We're giving you the shit show.
Welcome to the 61st episode of Toy Frenzy.
I can't believe it's the 61st.
Just last week, it was one fewer than that.
That's right. It's amazing how far we've come since last week.
I can't believe that 1 week from
7
now
days.
will be one more than that.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And also, one of these days, and I haven't even told you guys this, we're going to start going backwards.
Oh, back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet. So we're going to work back to episode 1?
Yeah, cue the Huey Lewis.
Yeah, that's
Are
right.
you telling me you started a YouTube channel out of a DeLorean?
That was good.
So wait a minute. Does that mean
That was
I need
really
to
good.
go back and I got to go back and box up the Wondar?
Yes,
Yeah, right.
all the everything that
I
we've
gotta
opened,
get
we
the
have
trap
to,
jaw
I
back.
have to give back the battle cat. Oh my god!
Yeah, no, don't do it.
I knew it.
That's the
would
one
be
where I'm
true.
crying.
Oh
I'm
man,
going to
no,
start a
that-
new
that'll cut
segment
them
called
off.
Reboxing My Collection.
That's right.
that's reboxing. Has anybody done that yet? That's
I'm
unexplored
about to
territory.
figure out how. You know, I can
Yeah, you open
actually
it
do
up,
that.
you're like, hey, this figure sucks. You rebox it and send it back.
That's right. That might start happening.
Yeah, start a trend right tonight.
That'll happen
That's
when I
right.
start making
Hashtag
toys.
Reeboks.
Hashtag rebox. Oh yeah, here. Let me do that.
right, here
Sorry,
we go.
can't talk in.
So, guys, got this really awesome, cool figure, right?
Yeah.
The Destructor from Phantasm Toys, right? So we're gonna go ahead, yep, out of the box. Yeah, real cool. And now reboxing.
Yeah.
Look at that,
you
brand
go.
new,
Beautiful.
mint with card.
Nice.
The
Now what
first
do you do
official
with it?
reboxing.
Was it everything you hoped it would be?
You know,
No.
it's like chasing the dragon.
That was an experience.
that it was.
Oh my
I think
That
we
is
just
show
lost
my wife wants to
15
watch and then
subscribers.
watch the money roll back in again.
Yeah, right?
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, the funds come
Exactly.
back.
That's
Which-
good. It gets real meta when you rebox.
Is that like putting it back in the shipper box?
Sending it back.
That's where that's the Yo Dog meme, right?
Yeah. Reeboks are back, I guess. Did you see
Ooh.
it's trending with the kids?
Oh, really?
Reeboks?
Really?
I don't
So
go
I guess-
much for trends.
Yes,
Of course
Fila's
not.
all the way next.
You're such a rebel.
Such a rebel, still wearing his pants backwards and inside out.
It's the only way
I
to
don't
walk,
wear
man.
pants. That's how rebellious I am.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right, Shawn.
That's why Shawn does not stand up during the stream.
Damn right. Yeah. We would be cut off YouTube no matter what. It would be horrible. So I respect Skelly enough to stay seated. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you're thinking of me.
All of the work to monetization and 5 seconds demonetized.
What?
We just had a Shawn lapse.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got that. That's horrible. Okay.
No, I was waiting.
I got it. But that's 'cause my show's the prolapse shows.
I was waiting.
I can't believe it.
Breathe.
Well, we have a lot to
Folding.
get. I'm going to move away from that. We got a lot.
My ass, you are. Come on, I got a million of them, man.
You got me. You got me. Now I'm crying. All right, so we have a lot to cover tonight, and I think this is
follows me everywhere.
Oh man.
I had to wait till he started going again before I could say it. I was holding it for a second there.
I can't even.
Oh, there you go. He's hiding. I'm gonna put him back in. He can't.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but when I did tonight's post, I
Can't do
whoa!
that.
First guest tonight, Skele Vader, on his own channel.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Welcome back.
It's
Glad
nice
to
to be
Welcome
here.
back. I'm in a goofy
Listen,
mood.
we too, and it started off because I couldn't remember how to get the show started. At least that's for me. Like I could not figure out do I press this to go live first and then the second go live? I don't know. It's just and Shawn was it really got Shawn.
So we always blame this on me doing my hair, folks. But the truth is, the reason we go late every Thursday is because Skele can't remember how to push the on button.
Every day I forget more.
See, it's like I'm Uncle Shawn. He's Papa Skelly now. He's gonna be the one to okay, Papa,
Papa
push
Skelly.
the button.
Come on, Grandpa.
He's up past his bedtime as it is.
Well, that's it. It's
Yeah.
we're 1 after 60, and all of a sudden he can't remember anything, and now I'm actually nervous going into the episode. Like, should we
I'm
call
nervous
him
right
now?
now.
This ship. We're going in uncharted waters just because we forgot how to fucking drive.
I love
Papa
it.
Skelly. There we go.
There we go.
Skelly had a brain lapse. Oh, this is fun. That was a great episode, guys.
Great episode, everybody.
Can't get any better than that.
Appreciate you tuning in for 61. We'll see you at 62, where Skelly forgets to even show up.
Wait,
If you're waiting,
Was it-
we're here all
what-
week.
wasn't it 59 last week? How did we get to 61?
Because we did an extra one. We did an
We did
extra
the
one.
try that.
Oh, that's right. I
Friday.
missed the other one. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was a
that's my
good
senior
special
moment.
stream.
Friday night
Hey,
That's my senior moment.
it's about time someone else has one.
Huh?
So yeah, Alf, I'm glad you're here. We're going to be closing up shop right now, and just kidding.
Wait, the numbers have started to drop. People don't actually leave. We're not
Don't
stopping.
We're not done. Yeah, that's
We're
just
not done. We're just getting started.
Many more coming.
We have a lot to talk about tonight, including we're going to be covering a little bit and talking about and complaining a little bit. Well, at least I'll be complaining a little bit about Eternia's choice reveal. It's a big deal. Got some people up in arms, got some people real excited, and we're definitely going to talk about that. And but we're really excited because Adam is doing his very first Battle Ram report tonight. And we haven't decided when we're going to do that, but we're going to do it tonight. So right now,
You're on the spot.
but we're stoked to have Adam's going to do a short segment, and we're just ecstatic about that. So amateur laps. That's exactly speaking. The pro speaks, right? Brick Something's videos are so good. I'm like, how does he do that? But
Wonderful.
exactly. But should we go through the chat first? Oz?
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot
Let's get
of
it.
folks in there.
I know, it blew up. I loved Adam's observation before we went live, and I'm going to bring it up here real quick. Where he mentioned, it's great how people just expect us to go late because, like, at the regular starting time, there was like 5 people here, and then now that it's like 15 minutes in, now we've got 15 people watching. So it's a very astute observation. We appreciate you all realize this, but I was doing my hair, so sorry.
Fashionably late.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well,
those
let's start
pubes
off.
really need to be dressed up, don't they?
Dude, they do.
Yeah.
You know how long it takes to curl your pubes with an iron?
Oh man, I wouldn't touch that, man.
Like, you don't have to. I'm doing it.
I know, but I mean that heat.
It's scary. It gets
I don't
scary.
even know what
but
you
that's
guys
part
are
of the fun.
talking
So what kind of balm do you use?
Well, I conveniently have it right here in this handy dandy jar. Everybody's gonna wonder what's in that actual jar now.
It's margarine.
It's a scented candle.
Oh.
Oh, I thought it was a collection of teeth or something like that.
No, that jar is downstairs in a box, but I do have that jar.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's never talk about that again either. All right, let's move on to the chat.
We've got J-Mac hanging out saying, "Hey, Toy Frenzy friends." Absolutely. We've got Speaking Moistly. And what's that name again? What's that? Speaking Moistly, Bobby?
Oh God!
We've got
the noise from that jar.
Now I'm regretting that I remembered anything. I should have forgotten to show up tonight.
It's okay. By next week, you'll have forgotten about this.
That's right.
Just do a time
Dirty
lapse.
Muppet show. Literally like the Dirty Muppet show tonight.
Oh, that episode's coming.
We're trying. We're trying. It's definitely coming.
Hey, everybody.
The time-lapse stream. All right, we've got Figuratively Speaking John, my buddy's Customs in the house. Chef M80 is here, and yep, he was saying he thought he was gonna be late. Never late. See,
No.
Chef is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Yeah, he's always
And
on time.
that's right. Eternian Ellipse, Sir Clifton himself joining us. On Ryu hanging out as well. We've got Ronald Embry, K-Roll. And let's keep scrolling down here. We've got this guy, Ricky, joining us. We've got Battle Ram Blog pulling double duty. And the wonderful, beautiful Dawning of a Decade hanging out in the chat as well. Good to see you. Thanos Copter is here. The chilling Duchess of Darkness. Posting new content daily this month, folks. If you have not been following her channel, go check it out. Post a new story every single day.
Just awesome.
Scared out of you.
Work.
That's true.
It happened before. There was a prolapse about it.
Last night's show, Duchess was frightening.
Yep.
Skelly couldn't even say hi last night. He popped into the chat and it was all teeth. Like,
yeah, I'm telling you, you know something's good if it's something's authentic and heartfelt if it affects you in the way that it's intended to affect you. And every time I pop onto her show, it's always scary. It's just there's something about it that just works. It's the authenticity.
Yes,
it's true. It's true. Very true.
Yeah.
All right, Nolan is in the house. We are officially a Toy Tube channel now. Nolan is here, folks.
Yeah.
The party doesn't start until Nolan hits the chat. We have Cobweb hanging out with us as well, spinning a new web. And, of course, Brick Something. Good to have you here tonight, brother. Thank you. Continuing to scroll down. So much in chatting. You got the Reeboks. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that takes me back.
Takes me back. All 10 minutes ago.
The Wayback Machine.
Yep.
And we already brought him up once before, but a big shout out to Alpha Flick saying, let's get frenzied. And I got to agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's definitely a frenzy for tonight. And
started out that way.
Scott Baker here.
Hey.
Jumping in saying, hey, haven't seen him in a while. Good to see you, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah.
All Music fan.
Awesome.
Shout out. He is here. And we have Ace as well joining us. All
awesome.
Right. And continuing to scroll, seeing who else we got. Does this keep hitting the send button since it's right next to delete? Oh,
sounds
that I can see as an issue. Right?
Story of my life, Ace.
Definitely an issue.
That's
actually that just about gets us caught up with the chat here.
I think so.
There is one message I want to bring up here that Scott dropped in because this needs to be said. We have a happy belated birthday today to our man, Shawn. It was his birthday yesterday, folks. So give a big happy birthday to our man, cool Uncle Shawn. And he's even coming to hang out with us which we appreciate.
It's a Muppet theme.
That's
Yeah,
right.
It is.
Once started and I can't stop now. It's like Pringles. So
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I am 45 now, and that's about all I can say about that. So,
Yeah. Did you
You're
have a
young,
good
eh?
day?
I remember those days.
thank you, Brick. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you,
Uh,
Dungeon.
Thanos
just
Copter's
turned-
got the real scoop. He turned 27.
Yeah. We know the
my,
truth.
my white hair will. Yeah, old fart is more like it. But yeah, my hair will definitely give that away. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate it. Thank you all very much. And I'm the age now of the channel I used to watch He-Man on when I was a kid in Baltimore, which is
Oh,
funny to
that's
me. So
cool.
it's like that was always a number that seems so high, and now that I'm here, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to look down.
Mm.
I'm the
thank
age
you.
I'm the age of a channel that, there's always one channel that didn't have anything really good. It was more like local stuff, or
Yeah.
I'm the age of that channel in my area.
Oh,
So
well,
you're
that was
lucky you're at that age right now.
there's like a couple years ago, I started doing some research because there was an afternoon show it was like the bookend of that, like the afternoon cartoon block. I was like, what's the name of the guy? Captain Chesapeake. I found him out, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm actually on a fan page now and stuff, and I'm like,
That's cool.
man, and he was also the horror host on the weekends for the
Oh.
horror movies late night. And I actually got one of his DVDs. Somebody had like they had a copy from the TV. And I was like, heck yeah, I want that. It's got Frankenstein on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 45 was always a good number. Now after that, I don't have anything else. It's like there's no other than 50. I can't think of any other numbers that'll be like that. So
Ooh, I
make the
turned
most of it this year.
62. Oh, wait, that's next
Yeah.
week's episode. Never mind.
No, that's great. I love that. Speaking of horror hosts, I ran into one of the things I'm excited about is I ran into the Toonie Terrors
Exactly.
Svengoolie at
Oh yeah.
Target, and
Nice.
that's tomorrow. It'll be in the mail over to Bobby.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
So I'm
True.
saying he may have retired from collecting, but the rest of us are keeping it alive. For him.
That's right. We're
Bobby,
not
we're
going to let it
sending him
stop.
shit.
I do have stuff coming in tomorrow. And that's my last figure I'm buying, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I got something coming in, not tomorrow, but I think the next day, Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's something we can bring up next week.
Yeah. That's why I didn't wear my one shirt that I said I was going to wear this week.
Oh, that's right. All right.
I'll save it for next week.
So, what are you all excited about? I mean, I have there's tons of exciting stuff happening out there in the toy world, but and and as I mentioned, I've got some mixed feelings about stuff. But what are you guys excited about?
There's a lot I'm excited about right now. Upcoming road trip with Jesse and Shawn to Legends Con. That's coming up in about a month now.
Oh wow,
Nice.
That's gonna
right.
be great. Excited about, we've been waiting a long time to do an unboxing of this figure, and I'm excited because that's coming soon, but we're still holding off for a week. We're toy edging yet again. Well, everybody's finally got their figures now, but Brick Something is a little busy this weekend. So instead, we're going to hold off until we're all here, because I want all of us to get that same moment when we see what's under the mask here, because I've been really good about not looking online and seeing what was under the mask. So we're going to wait one more week until Brick can join us at the rebranded, instead of Ostradamus Toys Live, it's now called the Clubhouse on Saturdays, when we all hang out and do our show. And this is what I'm excited about doing this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Let me get that
What
part
is
off
that?
so nobody can. That is Snake Mountain, finally.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yes. So thank you from our good friend Eldor. Appreciate
That's
it, brother.
phenomenal.
And
It is.
That's cool.
yeah, finally here. So I'll be unboxing and building this weekend, and that's going to be great.
That'll be a 10-hour episode.
He says that we all should totally open. You'll be in the chat. Nope, it's not going to happen without you. We've edged this long to wait until we could all do it at once. You're gonna be there. It's just how it's going to happen, Brick. Deal with it. We can wait another week.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's all. I think that's amazing. That'll be fun.
Yep.
So Shawn, don't show your. Do you have one? Do you have one of those masks of the Red Death? Yeah.
It showed up Tuesday. So I got that and the mug.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, that's
And
cool.
I don't think I'll use it to drink out of though. I'll have it just as like on my desk
It'll-
for things.
It's
That's
going
with
to
my
burn the
Hellboy
crap
thing.
out of your hand.
Yeah. Actually Oz warned me about that. And it also comes with a comic book.
Oh,
Storybook.
Does.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
Which is
a
really
lot
cool.
more like the original Masters of the Universe comics where it's art and then words at the bottom. Hold on, Shawn. Let's blow you up here.
Oh yeah.
But it's got the whole story in there.
Oh, that's great. That's
Very
beautiful.
cool.
Nate Barch artwork, which is always that's the price of admission alone for me.
Always good.
Right.
He's phenomenal, and the guy is so humble. It's crazy.
Mhm.
And then the other things that I managed to do that I shouldn't have done, but I did, and I don't know why I did, but I did. And I know we don't talk about this very much on the show, but I got him, so I'm going to do it. I found this guy at Target.
Oh yeah, I saw those.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
he's one of my favorites from when I was like 12, when I first picked up like X-Men #1. So I found him. And then today I also got this one in the mail
Yes.
because I was like
Yes.
this suit. And I have a 3-pack coming with Gambit, Psylocke, and Banshee. That should be here next week. And then Rogue. to
I
go
was
with
pretty.
Gambit.
I was pretty tempted by that Wolverine when I saw it in the store.
Yeah.
I do like that
Kinda
suit of
weird.
Wolverine, and I like that they released the full team to go with it, especially since it was like the full team in the comic that all had the same outfit, because it's so rare that they actually all of them wear a full uniform.
right.
You know, everybody's got the same. So it's really, really cool set. And those X-Men 97 figures are calling to me. They're really, really calling to me.
They I actually like them better than and granted I haven't taken them out, but just looking at them I like them better than the ones released previous. So because I've had the Rogue, I had a Gambit at one point, but this Gambit, this face is
Yeah.
so much better than the ones that they've been doing. He does look a little more cartoony, but he's more the way he looked in the comics this way.
From
Yeah.
the
The other
90s, yeah.
The other versions are going too realistic looking.
Right.
So when I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that was pretty much it. I've been bad for a couple days, so I got stuff.
It's okay. It's all right. It was your birthday. You were allowed to be naughty.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. A
that's-
little bit.
Yeah, there you go. What about you guys? Anything else you're excited for this week?
I got this. So for my birthday I got a Motu Classics Cobra Khan,
Nice.
which has been one of my short list for a while. Great looking figure, probably the best Cobra Khan made.
That's
I like
beautiful.
that you put that head on him. Actually,
Yeah,
that's my favorite head out of the two options.
yeah, it's a great head. I've got the original too, which is they're both great, but I don't know, just add something extra to have the hood. And he's got his little lizard friend that comes with it.
Oh, that's cool.
Sits on his shoulder from the 2000X cartoon.
I wish we were
That's
getting some of
beautiful.
those in Origins, like the little companion critters.
Yeah. Yeah, I always loved that. I loved it like in the G.I. Joe series, like Crocmaster and guys like that who
Yep.
came with their own little
they had a
little
pet.
friend. Yeah.
Snake
It-
eyes. Yeah.
It totally expanded on the character and expanded on the lore without doing a whole lot extra with the toy itself, really. But it just adds depth because it's like they have this companion, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wish we could get more stuff like that. Like I said, I've been wanting a critters pack for Origins for a while because there's like a lot of just like little critters that they could throw in, and that would be really neat.
Yeah. I did like they had those little red sort of mini dragon guys with the He-Man Battle Cat 2-pack.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'd like to see more of that. Basically stuff that looks like the old, William George box art creatures, things like
I
that.
agree.
But we all assumed that that was going to be a thing, and then it
Well,
never really
especially
happened.
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
that's
it
what I
was a-
meant. After we saw that, then we were like, "Oh, I wonder what else they're going to come out with now," and they never
Mhm.
did.
Right. I mean, it was kind of a big deal when they were coming out with like the earlier vehicles and stuff. You know, Stridor had that. The Battlefield Warriors pack
Mhm.
had like this extra terrain pieces as well as, the little gargoyle creatures, little dragons. And, like for me, that's what sold me on the Battlefield Warriors 2-pack. It wasn't the wind blowing in his hair He-Man or the Vac Metal battle armor. I already had a battle armor He-Man by that point. I didn't need that. I already had a Battle Cat. I didn't buy that set for those two figures.
Mhm.
I bought that set completely for the rocks terrain and the little dragon pieces.
Yeah, those two dragon pieces are amazing. They're perfect.
So Ace is asking about the Skeletor and Skilled Skeleton pack from Mattel Creations that just hit. So we kind of talked about it last week.
That's the little cartoony looking skeleton.
Yeah, he's called a Skilled
Mhm.
Skeleton. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that the Skeletor looks good. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not as excited, Ace, as I probably should be. But
Isn't that the same one though? Like it would be the Origins like Filmation version,
It-
or is
yeah.
it something different?
It's unique because it's got the swappable faceplates for expressions. Like the retail version that's coming out is just a solid head.
Yeah. Okay.
That version of it has swappable faceplates. Not to mention, it's also got that extra Skeletor bling.
Mhm.
Because he was hanging out with Flava Flav or something, and he gave him that nice extra necklace piece that's like really, really good. But overall, though,
I like the frightened, cartoony looking Skeletor face that he comes with. It's almost worth it just for that, but it's not really realistic for me.
Yeah.
Just for that price point for one of those faces.
How much was that?
45 bucks.
Jeez.
yeah. So you figure the figures retailing for like an around 20, and the extra 25 is for the. And it's really beautiful box. Like I love the packaging for it. I think it looks great. And of course you got me because it's a skeleton that glows in the dark, which we all know I'm a huge sucker for.
Mhm.
But at the same point in time, I just can't. I'm excited for it. And I'm glad people are getting it. It's not one that I am jumping on and being like, I need this. There's nothing about it that makes me go, okay, I need to shell out the money and buy it.
Yeah,
it's a nice one, but I'm not doing that one.
It's gonna be great for whoever gets it. And
Well, I know Thanos, he picked it up, I believe, because he wanted to. Yeah, he's going to get his money's worth out of the extra faces because of the photography.
Yeah,
and that's really where I think
Mhm.
this figure excels is those. If you do photography, if you do setups, this is a really, really unique Skeletor in the fact that you're going to get those swappable faceplates, and it's fantastic for that. I'm excited to see the people that get that.
I'm excited to see Thanos' pictures using those faceplates because they'll be funny.
Especially any Wednesday photos that he does with those faceplates.
Yeah. let's see. Scott is saying, hoping you can fit regular Origins heads on that little guy. Yeah, that would be cool too.
That would be neat.
That'd
I
be
don't
neat.
know if it's the same peg, but yeah.
It should be. That would be really smart of Mattel to do that. That'd be a lot of fun. That's right, Scott. That'd be good.
If you know in the chat if that's the same peg, like if they showed that somewhere where you could swap those heads, please let us know in the chat because that would be cool.
Bobby, how about you? What are you excited about?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm excited about an announcement Bobby has coming out on Friday, but y'all gotta wait.
Yeah, that'll be at the end of the episode when we announce our announcements.
All right, we'll get to that.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to. That was a little bit of prelapse.
God.
Well, I can announce it. I guess. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Wait till the end. Wait till the end. Let people. You got to stay till the end to find out what's coming.
That's right.
Next.
That's true. Yeah, stay and watch.
Stay and watch, folks. We got a big announcement from Bobby at the end here,
and it won't cut off. We promise.
Yeah,
my announcement.
Yes, we'll find a different place to cut it off. Not there.
Right at the pro.
No. All right, so I'm excited that I was really afraid that I wouldn't be able to get this one because I've heard that it was hard to find. But Motu Origins Cork, he sent the creature from the Black Lagoon my way.
Nice.
I did a little video on the channel, and this guy is gorgeous. See his articulated mouth here.
Yeah.
I love that.
He is amazing. And David, Motu Origins Cork, again, thank you so much, man. And you have something coming your way, my friends. So keep an eye on your mail. But this is amazing. Yeah. I'm excited about that. This is the first NECA, aside from the Remco style NECA Frankenstein that I got that glows in the dark, which is a gorgeous piece. This is my first NECA Universal Monsters from the regular releases that I picked up.
Oh, wow.
And mainly because I don't know, I just I don't know why I've been hesitant. But
I bought the Frankenstein one, but I gave that to my son because I didn't want to collect the line. I was like, it's going to be too much.
That's part of the fear, like that once I get one, it'll be I just want to get the rest. But I've been able to resist. I love having that Frankenstein that glows in the dark. But this guy's like this sort of is to me like the epitome. And look, I mean the artistry on this thing is just phenomenal. I'm really excited about this figure. I've just been talking to my family about it all week, and they're tired of hearing about it.
Well, I love the Universal Monsters, so I talk about it all the time.
Me too, man. Me too.
This year, because of the season, I've just been putting them on and deep diving on YouTube about like factoids about them. And London After Midnight FW Murnau with Nosferatu and everything, and I love that they're going to do the London After Midnight launch.
Oh yeah, super excited about that.
That makes me go like, I had some of them, but I ended up having to get rid of some of them recently, which made me sad. But that's one where I'm like, yeah, you kind of got me because I didn't expect them to go there. You know? Yeah,
I had a 12-inch doll of him.
Yeah,
it was clothed and everything too. It was it was a nice one. I think it was, I forgot who made those back then. Mezco maybe or something. I don't remember. One of those toy companies.
Mezco's done some cool stuff.
Because I had a Nosferatu, I had a Phantom of the Opera, and I had the London After Midnight because I went for all the silent ones.
Yeah. That's smart.
Nice.
Find a way to hone those things because otherwise you're getting all of them, right? And if you're doing silent or
I love silent films, so I'm a big sucker for them, especially the horror ones. Which there aren't that many, but I still love them. They're some of the best because they're the scariest, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
They are. Yeah, it leads more to the imagination that way.
Well, if you watch Lyle Barrymore's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that's frightening.
It really is.
He's so fantastic in that. It's frightening. He's great looking. It's horrifying.
Yeah, Nosferatu is one where I've seen it, and I love the fact that when you see the whole thing play out, you're like, it's like a fever dream version of Dracula, because you don't think it's supposed to work the way it does. And then the other one that I've seen it on YouTube, if I remember right, and it's mind blowing, is Faust. If you really want to see something that is amazing, watch F.W. Murnau's Faust. It's unlike anything you would ever expect silent movies to do.
Very true.
Yeah, I used to own it on DVD. Yeah, I love the scene where the guy sits there and he turns his face and his eyes just glow those diamonds. Man, that's so fantastic.
Yeah, it's so
awesome.
good.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
So what do you think, Adam? Shall we jump into your segment?
Let's do it.
It's battle time. Excellent.
Actually, it should be battle time. Excellent. Like,
so
and then a whole bunch of red rocks burst out.
Oh, that would be fantastic. That would be great.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Well, for the first time,
though, instead of a fist, it's one of the missiles from Battle Ram.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, I've got a big one we could use for it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Are we doing the graphic?
Since the beginning.
Yeah, I'm trying. All right. So, for the first time ever, folks, we've got the Battle Ram report. Oh wait!
Oh, you cut to me? I'm so fat.
I pushed play.
I bet your eyes hit the stop button.
Oz, did you stop it?
I didn't hit a stop button. I hit a play button.
Oh, we both hit play.
Now it's time for the Battle Ram report. I'd like to introduce you to Adam. Take it away, Adam.
All right, thanks everybody for coming in. This is we're probably overselling this. This is kind of just a little kind of a factoid, a little. So my idea was, so I did a bunch of sort of little fun facts for the Pixel Dan toy guide book, and I put together a lot more of them than actually made it in the book. So I thought it'd be fun, just short little segment, 1 to 5 minutes every week, just fun little Motu related fact. So if Vanna White could put our first image. So this is just on this He-Man's sort of his kind of little subtitle, the most powerful man in the universe. It's I don't know how obscure this fact is, but most powerful man in the universe is one of the titles he had in the beginning. I wanted to go over just briefly an alternative version of that appeared in some of the packaging, some of the catalogs. So if we go to the second image, strongest man in the universe, strongest man in the universe. So this is from the original Mattel 1982 catalog. In this catalog, it's it was done well ahead of the release of the toys. So you've got it's full of sort of prototype images. You've got the hand painted Battle Cat with a very bright red, almost pink saddle.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So he's called here the strongest man in the universe, which is it's something that shows up several times in just some of the early marketing materials. If we go to the next one, this is the Sears, or no, what is it? Not the Sears. It's the it's basically this little Mattel booklet called a wish list, like Christmas 1982 wish list. Which again, this one doesn't have prototype images, but it has like really sort of first release figures. You can see Striped Tail Battle Cat, a very early Castle Grayskull. But again, you've got He-Man with this strongest man in the universe title. If we go to the next image, is actually on some of the early packaging. It actually comes. It shows up on sort of the official packaging with the He-Man and Battle Cat gift sets, strongest man in the universe, and his fighting tiger. Interestingly, only on gift sets. I've not found this on any other packaging. But if we go to the other image, it also shows up on the early He-Man and Wind Raider packaging, Strongest Man in the Universe. So that kind of a fun fact. So what does that mean? Maybe it just means marketing didn't have their stuff together fully when they were launching the toy line. When I kind of think about it, it sort of reminds me of the early depictions of He-Man. It's really more about his physical strength, and it's not necessarily like, it's not like Filmation where he's lifting Castle Grayskull or he's making tornadoes with, by spinning his arms. He's just a really strong dude. But he's not, he can be bested by Merman if he's not careful. So it's really kind of more about that physical strength. So I kind of think when that sort of subtitle for He-Man was out there, that was based on maybe some of those earlier ideas that were brewing at Mattel, where it was kind of just more, he's a strong man, he looks like a bodybuilder, we're going to play off of that, versus sort of the more supernatural powers that were associated with them a little later. So I did an article about this a few years back. I'll put it in the chat, but just kind of a fun little fact. He-Man's is he the most powerful man in the universe? Is he the strongest man in the universe? It's up to you. But give it a look. Love to hear any comments that anybody has too.
I love this. I'm so sorry I messed up on your intro, because this is quickly becoming one of my favorite things on the internet now for Adam's Battle Ram report. So does anybody know anybody that has Strongest Man in the Universe packaging? Or Adam, do you have any of these?
I don't. Yeah, both of these gift sets are extremely hard to get. Especially the He-Man and Wind Raider. That one's very rare. I wish I did, but I do not.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, this is very cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's the difference between being powerful and being strong? It's like a epic question, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit academic, and I it could be just marketing slipped up, and somebody heard something wrong, and the wrong thing got out. But to me, it did just remind me of how He-Man's portrayal was different in those early mini comics versus some of the later stories.
Yeah,
like sure. To me, power would be more than physical strength. He has more than just physical strength. So,
right.
The strongest man in the universe makes him sound a little weaker than the most powerful man. So,
yeah,
I think in my head it does.
That sounds about right. Yeah, almost that he's reliant primarily on his physical or his brute strength rather than magic,
or just his whole presence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanos says, I prefer powerful to strongest. Is that what you all prefer too?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I think
I definitely prefer power.
It definitely it makes him sound more impressive, most powerful. Although I do enjoy those early mini comic depictions where he's not quite as overpowered.
Yeah. So, Shawn, what are your thoughts?
Powerful has a better ring to it. It has more gravitas, as far as I'm concerned, and it's one that we've all known for how long. It's in the beginning of the show and everything, but I love the strongest idea because it's the same thing as Superman. Everybody complains Superman's too overpowered, so having He-Man be someone like Adam said, Merman could take him out if he doesn't have his guard up. That is more what I'd rather see versus he can lift Castle Grayskull and throw it into orbit or something. So, but powerful does have way more of like it's a stronger, ironically, it's a stronger word for him and for kids to hear that powerful. It's like giving you the power with that figure.
That's true. I kind of agree with you in that I feel like. And I agree with everybody in the chat too. But I kind of part of me likes the idea of him just being strong and having weaknesses. Because if you're the most powerful, it's always been one of my problems with Superman is if you're unbeatable, then where are there ever going to be dilemmas? And so there are always ways we got to always create as the creative people behind these IPs. We got to create ways that the most powerful person can be bested, and that's like therein is a huge challenge, and probably why I love Conan the Barbarian comics, because he's not superhuman. He's just like massively brutal and strong.
He's a force of brutality.
A force,
basically.
yeah.
And that's what I enjoy about it too. It's like, if you show somebody, I almost feel that would have been better to teach kids though, in a weird way, instead of relying on I have the power. Have a guy who's strong, but he also has the ingenuity if he gets caught or if he gets taken out to find another way of coming at the problem then, instead of it always just being, let's raise the sword and buy the power of Grayskull because you have a singular, this is what I need to do every time there's trouble,
Yeah.
So in that way, I kind of wish they didn't introduce it for that reason, because then kids would have been, like they take a minute and they go, well, what would He-Man do if he came up against this? And it's like, well, then it gives you options. It gives you more creativity in your mind of problem solving.
I grew up loving He-Man, and I grew up loving Superman. I love that there was an otherworldly or magical element to these characters. But then as I got older, I really was drawn to Conan and really drawn to Batman for having the ingenuity, as you said, Shawn. But one thing that I think we're all in agreement of is you can't take away that I have the power. You can't take away the magic of Masters.
And
that's
this point, don't lynch me.
There's certain it's part of the lore now, and it'll always be that way, and that's good. I mean, I'll always be a fan of Superman, and I'll always be a fan of He-Man. It's that I love that kids, like Oz said, it's something that kids can hold on to. That kind of that I have the power, and there's nothing can come between me and that power. And if you try, it'll be an interesting story, but it's not going to work. Adam, thank you so much for doing that. That's awesome.
Do the outro. You got to make the music and outro so it ends.
Yeah. Sorry, let me do it. Where is it? Here.
I'm not touching the thing.
Put up
put
up his title again so we can do that. Yeah.
I'm just going to make an executive decision. Oz, can you be in charge of this stuff? Because I inevitably just mess it up. I will mess it up. I'm just going to say, Oz, there you go. Okay, thank you. I'll do that part.
Thank you, Adam, for your special announcement and your intellect. Go check him out on battleramblog.com for more power. Back to you, Tits McGee.
Oh my God! See how great that works when I'm only doing one thing over here. And Bobby, beautiful narration, my friend.
Yes.
Who said pit? I like royal boob.
Yeah. Hey Kay, good to see you. Let's see. He-Man would beat Superman, but would He-Man beat the Hulk? Yeah, He-Man would beat the Hulk. I love the Hulk, but He-Man would beat.
All I have to say is Lobo will kick the shit out of everybody.
Them's fighting words. I don't know.
Hell, if Lobo could put his cigar off on what's his name's face, he can kick anybody's ass.
Thanos, there, he's right. The power concept, that was huge as far as their marketing approach, because it was power fantasy. Like, kids don't have power, so they fantasize. They put themselves in He-Man's place. Like,
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to bed. I'm in charge.
I have the power to stay up all night and hate
Right.
Garrett says, I had the power to just ground your ass for 2 more weeks.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Oh, good to see you, Captain Biscuit. Good to see you. Who did win the He-Man Superman crossover battle? I'm unfamiliar with that subplot.
I believe it was Superman until they stopped fighting, and then they fought Skeletor. Am I remembering that right? I can bring it up.
That makes
That's
sense.
the original comics.
The original, the 82
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
I still need to get all those really early comics.
I don't have that one.
Yeah,
that's the only one I don't have.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
I love
that's the most expensive of the 5.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I got the other 4. Yeah.
All right, are we ready to get into it, guys?
Let's do it.
50 minutes in.
50 minutes in.
Wait, we were getting into something?
Well, today they announced that the Eternia's choice, the fans have spoken, and we are not getting the attack track, the fright zone, the horde. What was it called? The horde
command
vehicle.
crawler.
Yeah, and we're also not getting the Doom Tower.
Right.
We are, however, getting the snake layer.
Bullshit.
We've got people. We've got to be nice to Oz. He loves the snake.
No, I'm not saying anything against the snake men. I'm just saying against the vote.
Oh yeah, for sure. I really have a hard time believing it too, Bobby.
I mean, it's the year of the snake men. They kept talking about that, and this is
well,
another
of
way
course,
of
that's
pushing
just,
that. Yeah,
it's clever marketing for that, but you got to
Right.
remember this is also something that they're doing next year.
No, I get that.
So
I get that.
I mean, don't. It's still hard to believe that like so many of us are.
How does? Let's just forget about the vehicle. How does the Doom Tower not beat that out?
I mean, so this is like the attack track and the Doom Tower specifically are things that people have been wanting since I was a kid.
Right. I mean, you could put that right next to your fright zone. I mean, that's what everybody talks about is getting that with the fright zone.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the fright zone. Now you can get the tower. You're like, oh shit, that's great.
And so it's really, really perplexing to me that there's enough people out there, and maybe we're dying out, and maybe it's the 2000X, the Mike Young Productions fans that are really. This is where I'm really believing that this is true. That they are the ones driving. That the younger, and I say younger in air quotes because they're introduced to Masters through the Mike Young Productions show, and then discovered Filmation later on, perhaps. Maybe that's the group that's driving it.
This set looks so basic, though. There's like nothing that screams out and says, "Look at it."
I see the appeal, but I also see what you're saying too. That it doesn't. I know
it's just a render, a picture
rendering. Yeah,
it's just. I don't
it's
know.
tough. It's tough to imagine that more people voted for this than the other things.
It's honestly, it's really not hard to believe at all.
Yeah,
like
counterpoint.
You're looking at it from one single perspective, your own.
Right.
If you look through the chat right now, look how many people said they voted for the snake layer and they voted for something else.
Okay.
Very few people are saying that they voted for the snake layer to win, but time and time again, and of course I was doing several different streams at the time the fans' choice went live.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly everybody said they were voting for the snake layer and they were voting for one of their other favorites, whether it was Attack Track, whether it was the Doom Tower, whether it was the Fright Zone. The one consistent was the snake layer.
Okay.
Right.
So if the chat can do me a favor, tell me why you voted for it. Don't tell me you voted for it. Tell me why you voted for it. I'm curious. I want to know why why they want this.
I want to know too. I want to know too.
Sure.
Yeah.
I also want to just say a little thing really quick. Just a little Skelly statement. My heart sank a little bit, and I feel like when this was announced, not that I dislike this. I'm not going to buy it for myself, and I think it's cool that people are going to get it. But I think I just got really sad actually, and I don't like to feel sad about Masters. I think that the snake layer is something that we should definitely get, but and Oz, you pointed this out, and I think that it's really smart of you to point this out, that because we had the option to vote on two things, and that people are attached to the Snake Men lore, and they're also attached to the vintage stuff too, or to the traditional lore. They're torn between the two things. So a vote for two was kind of tricky on Mattel's part, and I think therein lies if there's any sneakiness, it's that they had us decide between two things, and that's really. I just got a little sad because I think if there's going to be a crowdfund project, it's got to be a as big of an event as Eternia was. What I mean by that is the object itself has to be exciting and complicated and worth the money.
Right.
This looks like it's, we talked about this last time. This does kind of feel like it could be at the same price point as Snake Mountain, and so does the Fright Zone could be be less. This one, and this one are the only ones that feel like they could have actually been crowdfunded, and I mean that separately from my feeling of nostalgia for these things.
Right.
These look like genuine crowdfunded projects. Anyways, that's my little thing. Just had to say that. I just got my heart sank a little bit when
I do want to say I am happy for Axel Jimenez, who designed the Snake Lair. He's an extremely talented artist.
Yes, he is.
Done a ton of really cool looking figure designs, including Fangor and Lady Slither and all those cool cats. So congrats to Axel.
Good point, Adam. And this, I think that's part of why so many people did vote for this, is because of Axel's work. Also, this sort of represents the creativity outside of the core Masters of the Universe lore, the creativity that has emerged since the Filmation cartoon. So it is representative of all that extra brainstorming that happened, stemming from beginning with the Mike Young Productions cartoon, and then everybody contributing creatively to the expansion of this part of the universe.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I thought that this one is, in a way, is because that's the only faction that doesn't have a place to go.
Right.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have a place of its own, but I mean, Snake Mountain was theirs too.
No, I get that, but when everybody always thinks Snake Mountain's with the Evil Warriors,
right?
That's I'm always going to say that myself, but this for this to beat out other people have been talking about they wanted that attack track forever,
sure.
And that's why I'm puzzled on why that didn't make it compared to this. That's why I want to know what everybody's thoughts are and why they voted for this.
Right. Well, I've been starring a lot of the chat.
Not that I'm saying it sucks or nothing. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just more surprised but not surprised that this won, because, like I said, it's the year of the Snake Men type of thing. So let's keep pushing that.
Right. And I mean, again, part of that is the clever marketing. They did also do the drop right around the time that they were releasing Lady Slither. We just got Fangor, so it's certainly going to sway a lot of people in a certain way. And I even know I've seen some of the comments in the chat about that. Like Scott Baker said he was on a Lady Slither high when he voted on this.
Yeah, see, yeah.
But the truth is, if people were not given a choice and they were just told to pick one, I have a feeling that either Attack Track or Fright Zone would have won by a landslide due to the fact that you didn't have a choice to back it up. Being able to pick two, everybody picked what they really, really wanted, and then it'd be cool if the Snake Men had a lair.
Yeah,
And I'm going to say,
well, it's just like
mind
those
you-
Scantron tests that you took in high school. You could choose two to, they just rounded to see where,
Right.
You could still pass.
So for
No matter
me,
what.
this was my main choice because I am all about the Snake Men. So I'm certainly happy this came out. I also like that they took a lot of the elements from that hanging wall playset that we never got. The one that was supposed to hang on the wall and you were supposed to have the zip lines that came off of it.
Yep.
Like a lot of this playset has its origins within that playset.
Yeah.
So I like seeing that come out, even if it's not like the full playset in its original intention. And I mean, I also like the fact that we got some stocks up here to shackle somebody. You got like a little Iron Maiden here. I don't know. It hits like all these different dungeon things. But, I mean, the reality of it is that there were a couple of different independent polls that were had. And the Snake Layer was actually leading every single one of those. The main one that I'll cite, of course, is Toy Habits, because theirs was probably the biggest.
Yeah.
They surveyed over 3,500 people. And Snake Layer came out prominently on top with the Filmation Attack Track as the number 2.
And how much of a difference of numbers was that?
I will bring up their survey here.
If you said 3,500 for the Snake Men, then what was the Attack Track number?
I'm going to go ahead and pull
7?
it up. No. Let me see here.
We while you're doing that, I'm going to go through these. You wisely starred some of these. Have you gone through any of these yet, Oz?
I was just starring everything that had a mention about Snake Layer and all like that. So some of those may be out of order due to the fact of like, with so many people commenting in, there may be a couple that go together. Like, Bud normally types multiple things at once, so they may not have come in order. Just be aware.
All right.
Well,
All right. I'm just going to go. I'll just. All right. So Rick says the Fright Zone should be retail. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. Black Phoenix 77 says I voted for Attack Track and Snake Layer. I was hoping Attack Track would win. Okay. That aligns with everything we've been saying.
Well, that's how I voted. Attack Track and Layer. Yeah. So there's 2 and 2.
Scott, 2 and 2. Scott Baker said had to be the most lackluster reveal I've ever seen. That's part of it. And Scott, you and I are very similar in that way. And I'm wondering if that's just because of what the relationship that we've constructed with Masters of the Universe. Snake Layer, boo.
Tell us how you would feel there, Cliff.
Yeah. Cobweb, we're not getting them yet. That is. Okay, so that's a reaction to something. I'm not sure yet. And then, so I'm going to leave that starred. We can move on to this one. We might get those in order of choice.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm going to share this screen. Hopefully my internet will stay. These are the numbers direct from, again, this is Toy Habits unofficial. Oh boy, everything blacked out for me. I hope everything's still connected.
We could hear you.
Am I still here? Okay.
There's a delay.
Just loading.
All right, so yeah, that's Toy Habits. And that's quite a big difference in people voting. So people like the Snake Layer, and more power to them.
Let's not advertise Prime and stuff.
It's just odd to me that
not there.
Yeah, I know.
It's still perplexing to me that more people voted for that.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious to see why they did.
Again, if you look at these numbers and kind of use it as like a base model for how the voting went with Mattel. Now, mind you, 3,500 total votes for Toy Habits. This is probably just a small fraction of the actual votes that went through with Mattel. Think about how many people would have voted Attack Track, Snake Layer, Doom Tower, Snake Layer. You know, again, is that backup of, well, they've never had a base before, so let's give them that. And I'll vote for this thing that I really, really want.
It's all rigged.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing screen now so that my computer doesn't completely boot me off of here.
All right, we've got Nolan. Even though I voted for Snake Layer, I'm disappointed with the result. Okay.
Wow.
So that's the thing. Like, you know, it was a little tricky. They offered us to vote for two things, and if you're a Masters of the Universe fan, and the Snake Men have never had a layer, you're very tempted by that. And if you're and you're also tempted by the Attack Track. So,
did you have to vote for two?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, could you vote for one and then hit send, and it
That's a
says
good
no,
question.
you have to vote for two? Like, does it stop you?
I
don't know.
automatically voted for two, so I don't know if that was really an option to just kind of vote for one and then just roll out. But I think pretty much everybody.
It's like
felt
voting
that
for
way,
politics.
so
You know, you go in and you vote, and you just hit. Well, I'm only voting for president. I can care less what happens with the judges and shit. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, can you do that?
You probably could. I didn't try it. Unfortunately, I voted for two. It said vote for
I didn't
two.
vote. So
I followed those directions.
I can't complain.
That's right. No one needs to hear that from you anymore. Now that we know the truth, you didn't vote at all. You're not a voter.
I'll keep my mouth shut the rest of the
summer. I know we all wanted the Horde Tank. The Horde Tank would have been cool. The Horde Tank would have been cool.
All of them would have been cool.
They all would have been cool. And I think Oz made a good point in the chat earlier today when I was crying into my phone. Oz said they're all going to come out probably. So there's a very good chance that that's going to happen. It's just this one's going to be a crowd-funded, which is. Sorry,
see, that's also the second thing that it's the second thing that I bring up about this.
We all probably had the same thought, and we all.
Yes, I bet it is. It's.
I know where
probably,
it's coming.
Oh, all right, go for it, Oz. You take it away.
Take it, Mr.
What the
Man.
fuck makes this a damn crowd fund? I'm gonna just put it out there blunt as shit, because that's how I felt about this whole fucking thing from the start, right?
Yeah.
They announced that they're gonna do this Eternia's Choice. They say that this is to figure out what our next crowdfund project will be. And they put things on there like this and like Fright Zone, which first off, we all know how I felt about the whole Fright Zone being on there, because I complained about it from night one. When you announce that you're going to give us the whole vintage line for Origins, why the fuck is Fright Zone behind a fan vote? That's not fair.
Maybe the Fright Zone is like a special Fright Zone for the crowdfund, and then since it didn't win, they're going to scale some of that shit back.
It might be because the Fright Zone that they
should
showed
tell you
for
that.
this had
that.
Exactly. Right. They need to be more forthcoming with some of that information. And they definitely put out, like, you know, they're showing it's got like this extra little plant thing on the side that I think they need to pay royalties to Little Shop of Horrors for.
Audrey
they
too.
Put the trap door on top of the jail, and then the jail breaks open in the back. They put this little stone rock creature in there. Like, they did add a lot of stuff to a playset that already had a ton of play features. But the Fright Zone's always been smaller than Snake Mountain, smaller than Castle Grayskull. Both Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull were released at retail for under $100. Why would Fright Zone need to be crowdfunded?
Fright Zone is not really that small.
You know what? It just hit me, and maybe I'm just slow, but they were asking us to pick an item that would be crowdfunded.
Yes.
For those of you that voted for the Snake Layer, you may have dug a grave for the Snake Layer, because now it has to go
There's-
on to the crowdfunding side.
That's what
And
That's right.
If
Yeah.
not everybody crowdfunds it, then it's lost.
It's never going to get made.
It's never going to get made. So if you had all voted for the Fright Zone, they would have been like, oh, we got to do this Fright Zone up good, and then we got to challenge people. And if you do like a crowdfund, it's like for a $40 item, of course it's going to be funded. But that's a little. I just realized this. That is it's a little scary that we're going to move into this territory now.
So just looking at that photo of the render, how much do you think that's going to cost?
Well, that's my other thing for the snake playset.
I mean, for crowdfunding, I get it. Maybe they're afraid that no one wants to buy it, so they'll do a crowdfunding to sell,
of course,
so many units of it. But
yes,
yeah.
Now, again, my major issue is if this playset is gonna be about as big as Castle Grayskull here, or about as big as Snake Mountain, again, you're never gonna get it funded if you put a price tag too far above this or above Snake Mountain. It's not going to fund because people are going to be like, okay, I get crowdfund, smaller quantity being built, therefore it's going to cost more. But that's not how people are going to see it. They're going to see it as they want $150 or $250 for the snake layer. Well, why is it worth that much when these other two play sets were less than $100?
Yeah, it's going to be, they've got a really, I forget who it was in the chat. Maybe it was over here in the starred chats, but someone mentioned that the snake layer better be Masterverse compatible. Then if it's going to be a crowdfunded item, there has to be a real draw to make it something that it's got to be bigger than Grayskull and Snake Mountain. It's got to be compatible with Masterverse figures, but we don't have Snakeman in the Masterverse yet, do we?
No, we don't.
The thing too is, well, how much did they have to get Eternia to fund? Was that 10,000?
I believe so.
I forget what it was.
So I would go back. What would you think? What would you think? How much they would have to sell for this? Because obviously it's not going to be $600 and something for that.
Right.
You gotta look at, they have to make so many shipping. Right, you have to make so many to make up for that money that they're producing that big thing for. So what would this one be? Maybe 5,000 they need to reach?
Let's look at the fact that they had a ring entrance that failed for a crowdfund project. Because you also got to think of what else has Mattel tried to crowdfund. We're also Motu centric, but they've done several crowdfunding projects now that failed.
Right.
They did a whole Jurassic Park gate, electronic lights and sounds, and it bombed. And that was priced at $250.
Okay.
So again, it's going to come into a matter of what is the number itself, how many backers it needs to do it, is going to greatly depend on what price tag they put on it. Now, if they come out with something this size and they say that it's $250, not a damn person is gonna, only the most diehard people will back that. Even me, who voted for it and was super excited for it, I'm not paying $250 for a playset like this.
Right.
I'm not. That's not going to happen. It's unreasonable.
Shawn and Matt, you guys were talking on the latest Legends of Grayskull podcast episode. Everybody should go listen to Legends of Grayskull podcast. And definitely go over to their YouTube channel and subscribe, please. Let's get them up to 1,000, please. All right. The thing that you guys were talking about was Terror and Lord Grasp. So if JMac is right, maybe those two figures are going to be included, and that like ghost-like guy, Oz, more,
whatever his name.
All three of those were confirmed as Walmart exclusives by Mattel.
All right. So who knows?
Why are they still doing? Why are they still doing Walmart
don't know.
exclusives.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
I don't
Because apparently
understand.
it's been such a huge and amazing business model for them that they're all really gung ho about it.
They're like,
I
I
mean,
know
it
what
really-
fans will love. Why don't we
But
make it
they
a
Yeah, they announced when they did that whole like Origins lineup kind of thing, and they were announcing what's coming through spring of next year. They put out like, of course we had the Filmation series. The Filmation series is going to be released at full retail, all retailers. You get a Big Bad Toy Store, you get a Walmart, you get a Target, and that's going to come with each wave will have 2 Filmation figures and 2 fan favorite Origin figures is the lineup for that. Then what they have coming out, all the other Origin stuff is select retailer, Target exclusive, and Walmart exclusive. So that Skeletor Stranger Things 2-pack with the Demogorgon, that is a Target exclusive. The 3 additional Snake Men are going to be Walmart exclusives. So, like, they've tiered all of that out across the different
As you can see,
retailers.
we're all very enthusiastic about this.
I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
the day that they announced that stuff and they were putting it out, I just kind of was like, well, there goes me getting Terror, Lord Grasp, and Necroconda. Because, I mean, I haven't had any luck with any Walmart exclusive figure. Skelly, thank you again for Moss Man, because if it wasn't for you, I would have never got that.
Here's that's. Oh, sorry, Adam. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. I've been trying to find Mossman for a buddy of mine in Europe. No such luck.
Yeah, it's tough. If I run across one this weekend when I stop by Walmart, I'll let you know.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
The last time I went over there were a couple.
Somebody recently was saying they had a bunch in Florida. So
Florida.
Who was it in Florida that mentioned that they had a bunch? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. The thing that I found that I've been doing, you know how when we were kids and you get the card back and you circle the ones, you X out the ones that you've gotten, and you circle the ones that you want to get, and then you X those out when you get them, and it's so exciting.
Yes.
Every time we get lately, for me, every time one of those images pops up with all the forthcoming figures, I'm just Xing out ones that I don't feel like I'll want and leaving the ones unmarked that I could potentially want to get. And those numbers are dwindling. And
which of these are necessary?
Which of these are necessary? And I guess that's just me, but I also feel like I'm excited. I feel like I'm kind of in the dark a little bit as to the excitement of the line expanding and these new things coming. I want to talk to somebody that, and Oz, I think you're the person that is really excited about the new things that were never part of the lore. As we talked about in the episode, like how do you say Masters of the Universe? One of the options we talked about was taking it into completely new territory and expanding the lore. And I'm excited about that, though I don't feel a connection to it yet. Like I don't feel like it's necessary to get involved.
Well, it comes down
Part
to
of
also
that really comes from. No, Bobby, please go ahead.
Nope. I'm looking at the carpet. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I was just going to say, like,
so anyway,
a big part of it truly comes down. And then
poor
this one
Oz,
time at band
poor Oz also has the delay going on because he's about to show us something on the internet and he's got the delay going on and we're just like, sorry, Oz, you're getting plowed over. Apologies.
It's okay. Skelly, you know me well, though. I was actually
Yes.
looking. There's a guy who makes these really detailed checklists that look like the old action figure posters.
Yeah.
And I've had him on Facebook send me like the PDF a couple times as he updates it. And this conversation reminded me, oh, I need to go ask him if he's got the new one now. So I was looking for that, and if he sent it to me, I was going to share it and tell people like, hey, check this guy out. He's on Facebook. But one of the biggest parts about this is, yes, there is no emotional connection to something that's new. But we need to breathe new life into things. Part of the reason you're disappointed, though, is because you have not received everything that you do have an emotional connection to.
Too bad.
And you are right. You're
Battle Ram.
frustrated that we have not gotten these things. Battle Ram's the most frustrating thing because they put the jet sled out year freaking one of Origins. And, you know, that was great because the Battle Ram was year one. But where is the rest of it?
And Bright Zone. Yeah, it's
Bright Zone's
frustrating.
my biggest pet peeve. Like,
It's
you know, because
frustrating.
that's a whole other thing about this fan vote is they have not said what's going to happen to everybody who didn't win.
Yeah, we don't know what's gonna. There is something coming up for sale here soon, though, right? It's got $3 signs on it, so it's going to be pricey. And yes, Bud, there should be a Rulers of the Sun play set. Gosh darn it! Like, what about that? Yeah, there's something. What do you guys theorize the announcement's going to be for the whatever it is that's going up on Mattel Creations soon?
So.
Attack Track.
Is that He-Man related? That's something coming. Is it He-Man related, or is there something else like some kind of Halloween thing?
I think it's He-Man related, isn't it? Didn't I see that?
Barbie dresses Tila.
There's been no guarantee.
Okay, no guarantee what IP.
Yeah, and Evelyn Barbie.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. Everybody here would get on board with that, I'm pretty sure. Shawn's thinking. How do I explain that when it ships here?
Keep it in the package.
That's right. Maybe that's Skeletor, Demogorgon, Stranger Things 2-pack. I think that's going to be, as Oz was telling us, Oz was teaching us, that's going to be a Target exclusive, that one.
Target exclusive.
So
that's not going to be for... Right. That will not be a Mattel Creations exclusive.
I want to say, wasn't there like a Turtles Stranger Things crossover at Target or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. And isn't there like a Turtles He-Man crossover thing supposed to be coming, or was that all
allegedly?
That's next year.
Is it next year yet? Isn't it
December.
Next year?
It must be. That is coming for next year, and that's not necessarily coming in the way that we think it is. There were some leaked images from a toy show in China recently where the He-Man turtles are looking a lot better. At the same weekend Toy Fair was going on, there was, I'll say, a toy show going on in Hong Kong. And somebody snapped a few pictures. We were all over looking at Toy Fair images, trying to figure out where these pictures came from, and the images did not line up with anything at Toy Fair. Come to find out they were released from Hong Kong and whatever toy show that they were doing. So that still isn't full knowledge to the public yet because nobody ever actually said anything about it officially, but that'll be coming out next year, and it'll be interesting to see where it comes from because I've heard a little bit more about who's putting those toys out. So that will be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you guys super stoked about that?
I hate turtles, so I don't care.
I'm just curious to see the final product. I don't know that I would buy it.
Yeah,
but I do want to see it.
Yeah. I'm on.
I'd
I
say
want
I could
to.
go find the picture, but
No, it's all right. It just makes you. It pulls you further away from us, Oz, and delays your video. But yeah, I don't know. Mr. Hootie Dean is saying I got the Skeletor 2-pack. Anybody else? I don't know if
Couple did.
anybody here got it, but in the chat, I think a lot of people did.
Yeah.
yeah, several people got it in the chat.
Yeah, which is cool.
I agree. I agree.
Pop actor Rick, Barbie, get her out of my Motu world.
I don't know. I think Evil and Barbie would be pretty cool.
Evelyn, Tila, Shira, they would all be great as Barbies. I'm really actually surprised. Sorry, Rick. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet because they're the same company,
like
for goodness sakes.
Right. But hell, you get all those other ones. They even did. Oh, yeah. I guess.
I just don't understand why that hasn't happened.
Where's my freaking rooted hair Princess of Power toys? Huh? Where they at?
We need a Joan Jett Barbie.
Yeah, we do need a Joan Jett Barbie.
I'd be all about that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And the Wendy O. Williams one, Plasmatics.
There you go with the taped nipples. That's one for Thanos right there.
That's right.
There you
go. But yeah, I don't know. It's I'm just gonna throw this back up here just so we can look at that again and then look at these. I hope that they're just messing with us and that this was just an exercise in futility and that we will end up getting all of these in some way, in some form in the future. I do hope that I also, just to say, I feel for you people who voted for the snake layer. I hope that if this gets crowdfunded, that you all deserve to get it, having voted for it. And I hope that is not what crashes this thing, because that would really stink if this won for the crowdfund project and the numbers were just not right and didn't make it through. So I really hope that everyone who voted for this does get it, because you deserve it. I mean, look at those numbers on Toy Habit's website. If you liked it, there are a lot of you that liked it, and that's cool. You should get the thing that you voted for. I just realized there's a lot of terror behind the idea of it being crowdfunded after Oz went through the list of things that have failed.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, crowdfunding isn't a guarantee, so
not at all. And as far as crowdfund goes, right now Mattel's really only got like two projects that have succeeded at crowdfund. That's it.
Oh, really?
They've got another 2 that have failed. So they're like 50-50 on crowdfunds.
It's not like it is 50-50.
Yeah. So there's not a
speak
whole
properly
lot
there,
of
sir.
Wish I could, but yeah, there's the chances of this actually succeeding are pretty low, and it has to do with how Mattel approaches this. They have no idea what they're doing in a crowdfund world. Like, they see other projects that get crowdfunded. They see things like HasLabs and they're like, oh, wow, yeah, that's a great idea. You know what? The HasLabs that get put out, Hasbro didn't go out there and be like, hey, guys, here, vote on what you would like to be the next crowdfund. And everybody vote on the next crowdfund and then be like, oh, sorry for all you people that the thing you voted for didn't make it.
Exactly.
You have just alienated every single one of those people from ever wanting to get. Because again, Sir Clifton, he said automatically, he's not going to fund because he doesn't want anything to do with it. But now everybody who was like, well, like, I'll vote for this one that I really want. And then I'll also vote for the snake layer. Snake layer won the majority, but people who voted that way may be less inclined to be like, oh, I need to have this.
Right.
And then go, okay, yeah, I'm all in on this. And it really also depends on the stretch goals. Because again, when it comes to a crowdfund, one thing that people don't often take into proper consideration is that when they do a crowdfund and you get that total price of an item, stretch goals, right? There's all these stretch goals. And it has been said automatically that whatever the full price of a crowdfund is, so like with Eternia, okay, you had King Grayskull, you had Keklar, you had Modi.
Mhm.
That $550 price tag was for all of that. So when it didn't hit Keklar, you lost value in your overall package now, because Keklar's tooling and costs was included in the 550 you're paying for Eternia. So now you're paying for extra tooling that you're never going to get as a figure because it didn't get all the way. All these crowdfund projects, when they announce these stretch goals, the stretch goals that are included, and these companies have said those stretch goals, that cost is included in that base price that they put the item out for. So every time a crowdfund does not fully hit its max tier, you lose value on it overall.
God, that's depressing.
It is what it is. You know,
Right.
it makes me, you know what it makes me do? It makes me really appreciate what I have and feel like I don't have to play this game.
Right. Yeah, you don't.
Don't.
I mean, you really
Definitely
don't.
So those of you who don't like this game, you don't have to play it. I'm excited about the things I'm excited about that are coming. I'm even, you know, more I look at the Filmation style figures, I kind of get a little excited, even though I was resistant to them at first. I'm kind of getting excited, and I think that those little things are what's driving me as a collector. The little things here and there, and I'm Oz. All that information just solidifies the sort of the less friendly side of toy collecting. That if you can make this much money for us, we're going to give you this little thing. Those of you who got Eternia don't get a Keklar, and that's sad. That Keklar is just one action figure, and it was probably the coolest of the bunch.
Yeah.
The numbers were pretty close, right? If I remember correctly, weren't they?
Yeah, they weren't that far off. Yeah,
they weren't that far off from getting Keklar. So Mattel says if we don't buy, we won't get the rest of the other figures, so we have to buy everything, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what everybody says, and that's a bad way of thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, I have thoughts on that one.
Yeah, it's not, you know, it's kind of, it stinks. You know, if you love to go to Disneyland and they raise their prices, it stinks. If you love Masters of the Universe and they raise their prices, it stinks. If the crowdfund thing doesn't work and you really wanted that snake layer or you really wanted Keklar, you know, it stinks. And
that's like saying if you're not a good boy, you don't get your toy.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is.
And that's what and it's a weird version of that, because it implies that in order to be good, you have to have the money. So it's a really weird version of that. Not just playing by the rules. And so we were 150 to 200 or so short of Keklar. In my opinion, the company could have just been like, you know what, you guys worked hard for this. Here it is. And that would have made a lot of sense because we were that close to that number. I think I agree with Ace here. I think it's a bummer. I think Mattel probably should maybe just chill out on the crowdfunding idea and just, you know, release the snake layer as a Snake Mountain sized playset for at $80. I mean,
I think they announced that another crowdfunds like in the spring or something, didn't they?
Well, that is when they are going to make the announcement about Snake Layer. It's going to be spring of 2024. So what we're going to see now, like there was a lot of people speculating that the Mattel Creations drop tomorrow could be whatever the Eternia choice was today, which was, it was a pretty good thought, of course, but they never put on there, and well, I don't know. They made the announcement about Eternia and we had what, a week or so before it went live.
Yeah, but that's Eternia though.
True.
That's
to
different.
A degree.
Yeah.
It was a little different. That's a playset that existed that a lot of people never had as a kid that they kind of.
But they actually showed the product and they already had it already. They already said that this is what they're doing. Snake layers different.
Yeah.
Exactly. They need a whole lot of new tooling to go through with that.
Can we address my buddy Custom's comment on the Giants? It was
this
just
right here. Yep.
That's terrible because Motherboard is so niche, like the audience for her. Like she's kind of neat, but like she appeared at the, she's a character in a cartoon for which there's no nostalgia compared to like the Giants. I think there's way more demand for like Titus and Megator.
Yes.
Well, if they announced that all the vintage stuff's going to be made, then you would assume they would make those.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Or are they just saying American releases only?
Well, I think it all depends. Shawn stood up. It all really depends on
put some pants on.
What they call vintage, right?
Hide yourself there.
So is vintage, is their definition of vintage what's sold at retail here in the States? Because there was a very, very short, run of Giants and, overseas, not here in the States.
Well,
there was extremely limited dinosaurs. Are we going to get the dinosaurs here because there was an extremely limited run, or is it something we're going to miss out? Are we going to get laser light and laser power?
We're getting rock. If we're getting Rock On or Stondar, why wouldn't we be getting? So I'm sorry to interrupt you, Oz. I apologize. The thing I want to just say really quickly is, Origins was such a success, and that's why we're here. That's why this is happening. So why not finish the vintage line and give us?
Well, they did say that
they said they would do it. So
it's going to be probably a sprinkle the rest of the way.
A smattering.
They're going to do like a couple, the Filmation versions, and then they'll throw in like maybe one Origins. Who knows? I'm just guessing, or something like that.
And
well, the vintage Origins. The vintage Origins is going to be Mattel Creations exclusive. That's not going to get put out at retail.
Right.
I
thought. That's right. Filmation's not. That's right.
Yeah, Filmation's going to be at mass retail.
Yeah.
Fan favorites are going to be at retail. So like King Randor is going to be starting to show up at around November 1st, along with the Beastman and He-Man that we've seen recently. That's all going to be hitting right after October, going into November, before Christmas.
I'm sorry, I'm lost. I haven't paid attention in a long time. What's the fan favorite stuff?
Re-released Origins characters that didn't get a huge time on the shelves.
Oh, like Trapjaw and Scareglow and stuff.
Stuff like that. Like we kind of already saw it last year with the re-release of Wave 2 that had Trapjaw and Manny faces and all. So like we're gonna start seeing King Randor's like basically confirmed for the first one up. Mini comic Trapjaw is supposedly getting another runaround like at the same time, which is kind of weird that it would be.
Yeah, that's an exclusive. Why would they do that?
The mini comic Trapjaw wasn't exclusive. He was retail.
Oh, not Trapjaw. I'm thinking Triclops. I'm sorry.
Triclops. Triclops is supposed to be on that second wave. So like when we're going to start seeing Skeletor and either Filmation Trapjaw or Filmation Tila, I believe it's going to be Trapjaw first. When we see those come out, then it's going to be like Triclops is one of the first ones up. It's Mattel's way of combating those secondary market prices that we're all complaining about, like trying to complete the line. But the rest of vintage Masters of the Universe, as far as figures we had not seen get released at retail, such as Rock-On, Stone-Dar, Cyclone, all of that.
All the stuff that needs extra tooling.
Right. All the stuff with the high-priced individual tooling is what we're going to see at Mattel Creations to finish out the line. So that won't be available in store. That will only be available at Mattel Creations. And again, that's why it was kind of a surprise to hear something like that and then immediately see them turn around and say, oh yeah, Voto on Fright Zone. Like, well, why isn't that just going to be a Mattel Creations exclusive?
Right, exactly.
Paradox.
Yeah, we said that before. Yeah.
We're seeing that vintage attack track rolling out of the Filmation attack track.
Right.
Why is that vintage attack track sitting with why is that behind a fan vote? Why isn't that just going to be released? It'd be different if it were something like a different colored attack track. Like the vintage one was red. Maybe that one could be blue to match the kind of blue overtones of the actual attack track. That would make sense. That would
wasn't there art, Adam, that had it as blue too?
Yeah. Well, so the model kit came in red and blue.
Yeah.
So there are two different versions of that.
I thought I saw something. I remember you
kind of like how the Road Ripper was blue in, was that Mexico?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is cool that they give you an homage to that with the Masterverse Mechanic. That like he's got the shield like Battle Armor He-Man. And instead of like that heraldry of He-Man, it's got the blue Road Ripper head on it.
Yeah, and it's funny that they connect Mechanic with Road Ripper so heavily, like in Origins and in Masterverse now. Like there was one piece of art, it was just like a black and white line art for newspapers that had them together, but otherwise it's not really, they're not really associated necessarily. So it's funny.
Strange.
Yeah.
First world problems, folks. That's what
maybe maybe they just think it's funny they have a guy without a hooded vehicle, they have his neck stick way up and then drives under a bridge.
Clothesline. So Ace is mentioning here that Mattel of all companies, I'm sure, have the ability to keep production costs low, so it's not like they're breaking the bank setting up production runs. It's not about keeping production costs low. It's about keeping profit margins high.
Yes.
Anytime you reset up a production run at a factory that has a production schedule that's already about a year in advance, as far as this is coming out then, this is coming out then, this is coming out then. Anytime you try to stick something else in that, it delays things. And when they do these production runs, the whole factory is set in one particular fashion. So when they do that run and they basically disassemble that production run, that's it. Because it does cost quite a bit to reset that whole production line up again to redo another run.
Thank you, Mr. Whoopi. Now let's go get our factory going.
It's literally part of the business. That's how it goes.
I'm just waiting for Oz to come out with his own action figure line. He knows so much about it. Let's make this. That's what the crowdfund should be. Yes. Let's get Oz an action figure line.
You guys know I've been working on one, right?
Why do you think I'm saying it so loud right now?
I keep that under wraps until I have something more underway to announce. Let's put it that way. It takes quite a lot.
With an exclusive accessory of a jacket that says Toy Frenzy on the back. So you can put that
there you go. Oh, man. Oh, by the way, folks, there's a shop right down below where you can buy Toy Frenzy stuff, like including this. They are not action figure size T-shirts and jackets and hats or cups. They are human size. So check it out.
It's a real store.
It's a real store.
We have a store.
Speaking Moistly is saying Mechanic. This is an interesting response to you, Adam. Mechanic is a scout, and Road Ripper is a scout vehicle. I didn't know that Road Ripper was a scout vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not like dissing it or saying that they shouldn't put them together. It's just
Oh,
funny
no.
that
Well,
they're
it is
putting them
really
so hard
well,
together.
It is strange
Well,
because
I find it funny because Mechanic is supposed to be like a mechanic. So does that mean that the Road Ripper's always breaking?
Maybe. I mean, Prince Adam destroys it in the cartoon, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he does. So just wanted to drop that shirt in there because the frenzy needs you, folks.
yeah, it's a great design too.
It is a good one.
Really is.
The movie will come out eventually, so the line will either restart or just keep going on from here. Probably.
I don't know about that movie anymore.
Will it come out?
We were the closest we'd ever been, and they were like, "Nah."
Yeah,
It'll be so far from now. I'll be online ready to buy the ticket, and I'm just gonna die.
that's right.
I'll be so
Sad.
old.
That's exactly.
I got the ticket. Oh.
It'll come out when movies are obsolete, and no one has to go anywhere to watch.
Yeah,
something.
movie theaters will close.
Yeah, you won't have that experience.
It's a sad thing. I used to run a movie theater.
I feel like buying some Toy Frenzy merch now.
Go ahead.
There's some good stuff over there. But no, I mean, come on, folks. You don't have to buy that stuff. But if you are,
you're an awful
that is
salesman.
not how you sell things, Kelly.
Skelly's a door-to-door salesman. He walks up there, knocks on the door, and turns around and says, I'm sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, you don't need a vacuum.
Your house looks fine to me.
Do you want one of these Bibles? Oh, I see you have a cross. I'll be on my way, folks.
I'll be on my way. Yeah. That's exactly what would happen. That's exactly the kind of salesman I am. It's interesting. Part of me also kind of, just as a final thought on this whole ordeal, part of me also feels like Mattel has an obligation to keep us excited,
right?
And also at each other's throats, and also having opinions. And it's very smart. It's a very smart plan. It's a better plan than I could ever come up with, because I would just say, "Oh, you don't want it," and then turn around and walk away. But they have a very smart plan. I started this show tonight feeling like I needed to say how sad I was about Attack Track, but I feel like I'm ending this show tonight feeling like I need to say how sad I am that Snake Layer is going to be a crowdfunded project and could potentially not make it. Like, that makes me sad, even though I don't have attachment to that project. So fingers crossed it comes together for you all. And the games are what do they say in Running Man? At the beginning of Running Man, it doesn't matter. The games have begun. We've been in it for a while. It's what it is. I can't get the clotheslining image out of my head now of Mechanic speeding along and staying with his head fully extended, and then
it's like that Tex Avery cartoon where they had the car of the tomorrow and you had the giraffe's head sticking out of it.
Yeah.
Right. So Mr. Hootie Dean sums it up right there with that comment.
Yes, for sure.
For all of our bitching, still excited. And it's true. As much as I'm going to gripe about the fact that I'm worried we'll never get a vintage Fright Zone now, and, as much as I'm worried about how none of these crowd-funded products should really be crowd-funded when they just don't seem like there's enough value there to do a crowd fund, that kind of bothers me in a lot of ways. I'm still excited because we still have Motu coming out for at least several years to come, despite the fact that Motu is a zombie at this point because we all know it died in April, and we were
Right.
never going to see it again. And
I
yet
don't know
here
what you're
we are.
talking about.
We're still talking about Masters of the Universe. It's not only still available, it's even still available at retail. And I mean, again, yes, most of my Walmarts aren't carrying it anymore, but I don't know what's going to happen starting after November 1st when this is supposed to be out there. The big key factor is Mattel needs to do something about the distribution at retail. I mean, again, once it gets to Walmart, it's kind of out of their hands. But there was once upon a time when a Mattel rep would show up and make sure that the product was properly displayed in store. That is something that has been missing that they need to get on, because if we have Mattel reps that go around and check on this, we are a lot more likely to see this product in store. Like, hey, why isn't this set to planogram? Why isn't this out being displayed and being sold? What's going on? And then they can't hide behind the fact that they're saying, well, this doesn't sell, because the Mattel rep will be out there seeing whether it's selling or not, because they'll also be looking at inventory numbers too. They'll also be able to tell the difference of Wave 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 that never showed up because they kept reordering Assorted Wave, which was just restocking Wave 7, sadly.
Well, Eldor was referencing Sherlock Holmes there with the game's afoot, Watson. Yes, that's it. The game is afoot. And are we all part of it? Yes. Are we playing it? Yes. Is that a problem? Philosophically, maybe. But it's this thing that we love, and we're still talking about it. And it's perplexing, honestly. I love Masters of the Universe. I'll always love Masters of the Universe. Mattel, I'll always be interested to see what you come out with. May not buy into it, but I'll be watching. We'll be watching. Joe says in 1982, the Motu display in Sears sold on the line. No cartoon needed. Amen, brother.
Yep.
That's about all of us right here.
Yeah.
Again, we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. Like, there's not one of us here that didn't actually. We all didn't see He-Man as a cartoon and then go buy it in the store. Each and every one of us had it in hand and then found out it was a cartoon after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it before the cartoon even came out.
Yeah, that's cool. I feel like the fandom has become a little entitled, and that's absolutely true. And we got to check ourselves, folks. If you're feeling like you're not, and these discussions are really therapeutic for me, because I was really sad at the beginning, and I'm not sad now, but I think it's important to talk this stuff out, but not yell at each other. And not yell at Mattel. And
I don't know if we're entitled so much, but we do still need to tell Mattel what we want.
Yes,
we can't just accept what they're going to say. Here's a bunch of crap.
Well, we did. We just fan voted, and everybody's complaining.
No,
no.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean, though. It's like,
right.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, you're right, Bobby. And if there's something that you want, folks. Battle Ram, if there's something that you want, send Mattel emails and say we want it. And they've been good. There you go. They've been good about listening to the fans. Oh no.
Man at Arms fell out.
Man at Arms fell out.
Quick, hide that. That didn't happen.
They've been pretty good about listening to the fans, and
when it comes to She-Ra.
That's true.
That's right.
There's
true.
other things involved with that still, but yes, I agree.
Well, they could, instead of saying, "Yeah, we're listening," why can't they just come out and tell us why or whatever?
That would be the best thing right now.
I mean, be upfront. Everybody would stop asking then. If they say, "Yeah, we're listening to the fans," blah blah blah, we'll see. Why don't they say, "Well, we can't. We don't have the rights to it."
Because then
everybody would be like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
I think there's something coming, because they never want to talk about it. I think they're waiting for the 40th anniversary.
I think so. I think next
And
year
I
we're going to
think-
start
2 more
seeing a lot
years?
more. Well, no, it's
I
only
think-
next year, right? 1984? Or was it 85?
Should be 85. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's what they're. I think that's honestly that's what's happening, and they're not talking about it because they know how ravenous we are.
Agreed.
And we'll just go crazy with that information. And
I'll be 52. I'm not going to buy a bunch of toys anymore.
You're
That's what
already
you
not
say.
buying a bunch of toys anymore.
I know. That's what I said.
People might send them to you though.
It's going to happen.
Oh, please don't do that no more. I appreciate it.
Bury him under an avalanche of toys.
Uh,
You heard it here, folks. By
I don't
Bobby.
ask for
Oh,
anything. I don't ask.
He
for
doesn't
nothing.
ask for a damn thing. That's true.
Yeah.
So-
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, because I know Terrence came in a little late. We definitely went over this point earlier in the chat. Look, everybody's saying it's rigged or all like this, but you got to look at the diehard facts. We kind of did our own mini type poll here in the chat.
Mhm.
When presented with two options, people picked what they wanted most, and then there was a secondary choice. So even people who voted, again, Fright Zone, I really want to have Fright Zone. The snake layer's kind of cool. I really want the attack track. I need the attack track. And the snake layer is kind of cool because we haven't seen it before. It's something new. So yes, a majority of the votes got the snake layer. It definitely happened that way. There's no real ifs, ands, buts about it. For everybody who picked two, a secondary vote was probably put on the snake layer. There weren't, I guarantee, just judging from how many people today I've seen say that they didn't want the snake layer to win, I definitely know that was not everybody's primary vote like it was my primary vote.
Mhm.
But I will say, out of all of the channels that I've been on talking about this thing from the announcement of it, everybody did say, ooh, I want this and I want that snake layer. Like, I shouldn't say everybody, but so many people were saying, I want this and I want the snake layer, and I want this and I want the snake layer.
It makes
I
sense.
voted for the snake layer twice. Just joking. You couldn't vote for the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you cross state lines and do it?
Pop Actor says, I hope I ain't in retirement and saying when Mattel released 2 Batter Rio Blast yet. Well, none of us are retiring because we're all going to have to
Can't
keep
afford to
working
retire.
in order to keep paying for this stuff. And Bobby's ready to retire.
I already retired
Oh, did you?
from toy collecting. Yeah.
Oh, from toy collecting. I thought Rick was talking about work.
Oh, well,
Um,
bringing up work. Today's my 25th anniversary at my damn
There
company.
you go.
Oh,
25.
that's
So
Congratulations.
you could
On
probably
He-Man's
retire
birthday.
soon.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
We probably, seriously though, we'll probably be in retirement by the time the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it'll probably be kick ass too by that time,
Look,
Yeah.
I ain't going to be around by the time the movie comes out. All right. I'm just saying. They'll
All
come
right,
out with
let's
it and
not-
people will
let's
think
not
it's a
get-
new IP again.
You're gonna make me sad when you say that. We'll all
No, I
we'll
only
all
say
be
it
around. We'll all be around, and it won't be a very good movie, and we'll all be talking about it. It's going to be in a couple of years. Unless I'm just going to say it again. Unless James Gunn directs it.
Lovely silence.
It got quiet. We got dead air.
Yeah, there you go. We'll all be gone before you, Oz.
Yeah.
Not true. You don't know how hard I live my life. I've already come close.
You're not alone in that, my friend.
That's true. That's very true.
But yeah, it's like we're all older dudes. And you want to see stuff happen before we're not around, and that's part of it, and that makes sense to me. I think we're gonna see plenty, and I think it's exciting. I think it's also always going to be a little frustrating for folks, and that's the way it is. I think I keep thinking about the statement of entitlement, and I don't want to get deep, but when I said earlier, like, first world problems, that it is, and
all this,
all of this is, and it's and it makes me think, well, then, do I need to rethink everything? And probably thinking about things is smart, but also remembering that all of this is based in joy, and joy is a way of kicking against the pricks. And if this is what's going to help me get through um, uh, several days in a row of thinking about the terrible shit that's going down in the world, and have get some joy from this stuff, then that's going to make me, then that's what I'm going to be happy about, that entitlement and that first world problem, that's this kind of joy is genuine, and it's even the arguments are joyful for me.
to
Does
a
that make
way,
sense?
because yeah. I mean, when our biggest problem is the fact of, oh man, we got snake lair, and instead of attack track, life's pretty damn good.
That's true.
That's what I mean. Like, we should
life
be
ain't
thankful.
too bad.
No,
we should be thankful.
I'm always thankful. I'm thankful
right.
that I have lived in a world where Masters of the Universe exists, so that I can bitch about it when I need to and love it always, no matter what.
Yeah, that's right. Shawn.
deep thought.
Part of why I've been so quiet is I had a booster COVID shot today, and it's
Oh,
kicking in like
no.
crazy all through the episodes, so I'm kind of here.
He's actually been seeing little green goblins run across the screen.
Yeah.
That's why I needed my drink. I was like, what the hell was going on here?
I wish I was seeing little green goblins.
Hold on, Bobby. I'll send you something.
I think that'd be kind of fun. People would be like, what, looking at me, like, what is he doing? I'm trying to grab him.
All right, we all know what I'm doing for Bobby next episode.
Happy Halloween.
Sorry, Shawn, what were you saying there?
Like for me, it's weird. I'm like Zodak in this. I have no leg to stand on. I don't have any dog in this race at all. Like, and it's refreshing, but it's also really weird because it's something like the brand is something I love, but I haven't been into what they've been doing with the brand for a few years now. And I just don't have it in me to keep up with it. Like I know how everybody is about, well, this is an exclusive, this is here. That for me, I'm listening to all this, and maybe I've become an old man. I'm just like, I couldn't do this now. Not with 2 kids, not with all the stuff I got going on. So
I was like that a year ago. I knew everything, what was coming out, what was exclusive. I post all that, and since the turn of the year, I just don't care anymore.
It's about, like we've said it before on the show, and I'm 100% by this. It's what is your joy about this? What brings you joy about what this is?
That's right.
And I agree, there is an entitlement. I wouldn't say somewhat. I think there is an entitlement, and it's interesting too that we're seeing the people that I thought were the prevalent voices in the community, which were the Filmation people for the most part. I feel like that's the tide is changing as of this. And that's actually really weird to even think that that's something at this point, because I figured it was the Filmation do or die and that would be it. And instead, here we are where it's like, well, now something we have no interest in or no connection to, except for Oz, he loves it. And that's fine. But something that the rest of us are like, oh, that's what won. It's like that for me was, I completely agree with Scott Baker. It was, I looked at it on Instagram and I'm like, that's the reveal. Okay. You know, like it just was me going, okay, it put my curiosity to rest, but I don't really need to worry about it. You know, like so. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's I've started to become somebody where it's like supporting the line. Yes, it's important, but I'm more into the brand all across the board versus it being about just buying the toys all the time. I think.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that for me, like I'll get whatever makes me happy now. I'm not gonna be that guy anymore. I don't have the finances. Lord knows after getting Mondos, I do not have the finances for any of the
Yeah.
other stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But in general, it's what stuff really grabs me and makes me the most happy to put it on the shelf. And like that playset for me, it's like it says nothing to me. It speaks nothing to me. There is a part where I'm like, okay, cool. It's pushing it forward, like we've talked about, but it's pushing it forward in like an alien way to the people that were thinking, pushing it forward in a different way, or pushing it forward in a way they thought was more fitting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because I had the
Right.
same feeling last year. I was buying stuff and I was buying classics and things, and
hmm
I had the rush of buying it, and I get it, and I open it up, put it in the shelf. I'm like, great. Now what? No, really. I that's why I
Yeah.
remember saying that
I'm
to myself. I'm like, I started putting them up. I'm like, why did I spend all this bullshit on this?
I,
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
got this
I am
crap.
ex-
I don't need this.
I'm right there with Bobby in
Yeah.
some ways, and some of it is responsibility, but some of it is also, does it really speak to me in a
Right.
way where it's like, would I want to be buried with this thing because it means that much to me, or
Right.
is it something I'm just getting to scratch an itch or
And that's
whatever?
how I felt with Origins too. I was buying it, and then I was like, I don't need this. But when I look at my vintage stuff, I'm like, I breathe it in. I'm like, this is
Yeah,
beautiful, to
yeah.
me. But the new stuff is just, whatever. But
And I'm one of those people. We say it on Legends, we say it on here. I mean, I'm not trying to tell anybody they're wrong for what they
oh, of
love
course
because
not.
Lord
Right.
knows, it's like whatever it is that speaks to you. Just like
Yep.
I did see the one comment that Mr. Hootie Dean said about it today was as lackluster as the James Gunn and the DCU, and I'm like, I have strong feelings on that thing. I
Yeah.
could probably rant for
Wait,
5 to 6 more hours,
I kind
but
of feel good about James Gunn being involved in the DCU.
I'm very much like, I'm passionate about how things are represented of what I
Yeah.
love, and I think
Yeah.
that's where it comes from now. Like Revelation, for instance, it represented certain things that I thought were really cool. Like I love that intro where it looked like the William George Fox art come to life
Yeah.
and all that, and the Rudy Obrero art and all that. But then when you see the story or when you watch the story, it's just like, well, this isn't what I hoped this was gonna be. Like there's some speed bumps in this or whatever. And probably the same with Revolution. Just like if I sit down and watch Man of Steel, I'll give you a dissertation of why that movie is not my movie for Superman, because Superman is this, and represent it in a way where it speaks to me but can speak to a new generation. You are a very good person then, as far as I'm concerned, because you're making new people see what you love in something, and they can embrace it and they can understand why it matters, and they have their own take on why it matters then too.
Yeah.
um, that's just my little soapbox. But
Yeah.
yeah, at the end of the day, your joy is yours. Do what makes you happy. But it is interesting to take a step back from time to time and go, all these things on the shelf, what do they mean to me? What does this say about me? Like Bobby said, he puts it up on the shelf and there it is. Now what? It's like, well,
Yeah.
then are you going to love it that it's there? Or are you going to just feel like, well, that was $20,
Yeah.
or whatever?
Exactly.
I like what Terrence St. John said. This is bringing me down. It's like listening to rock stars talk about how they can't perform anymore. Well, that's it.
Well, because we're all old
We're
men.
getting old. We're all old.
It's too loud.
This is why I don't talk through most of the episodes. You get all the good stuff, and then here
No,
comes Uncle Sean with the vegetables
Sean,
to
not
throw in
at
your
all.
face.
Uncle Sean, I started off this episode not remembering how to start the episode, so it's okay.
That is truth. That is the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, what do we do again? I was like, you have to hit the
Yeah,
button,
I mean,
and then you hit the button
Yeah.
again.
exactly.
And
It's true. It happened. But this is good. It's good that it's good that we're talking about this stuff because these are real dilemmas that everybody's feeling. Get off my lawn, damn it.
To respond to this really quick, to the one about Speaking Moistly talked about Orko and Andrew and all that. I mean, Andrew's one of those characters that was so divisive.
Yeah.
But there are some people that actually were like, "Hey, she's a great character." I was never an Orko fan until Revelation.
Wow.
Revelation was like, "Holy crap, do I love Orko?" And I actually was sad that he died. Died, but So it's like, wow, some storytelling makes you reevaluate what you didn't like originally, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Holy crap, that was great," because it was written in a way that matters to me now versus the previous iteration.
That's true. I think that's exciting to say because I think that we can all admit that we've had experiences where we've disliked something at one point, and then we've rewatched it or re-experienced it and liked it. It happens with food, it happens with music, it happens with movies, it happens with TV shows, it happens with action figures. How many times have you gotten rid of an action figure and regretted getting rid of it? And or gotten something and then wondered why you got it. Like what we like and what we dislike is fluid, and that's wonderful. Next year, when Oz opens up his snake lair live, I might be kicking myself because I might fall in love with that thing, seeing it. And you know what I mean? That's just the reality of it. And Bobby getting those classics and putting them on the shelf, and then at that point in time where you're like, all right, got it. Now what the hell? You're gonna maybe 2 years from now when you open that box again because it's been in storage, you're gonna see it in a whole new light.
No, I get that, and there's another point I want to say. What's good about what's been going on with Masters is, and I've noticed everybody saying this in the chat or Twitter or even us. I noticed a lot where someone would say, "I loved it when I was a kid. Now I'm back into collecting it again, like recently, like since Origin started," or I didn't know 2000X came out until a couple of years after it did, and I got into it at that time. And then Classics came out, I got into buying it. I've been collecting it since '92, so I've been around for a long time doing it. But it's nice to see new people bringing life to it and talking about it again at the same time. So it's I think it's brought in more fans again or new fans recently, and I think that's a good thing.
Right. And
just real quick, I want to follow up on what Bobby just said, because when they did the Netflix reveal the other week, and you had to sit through an hour worth of Castlevania to get to the 1 minute clip of He-Man.
Oh, that's out already. I didn't see Castlevania yet. I gotta see that.
Oh, it's so good.
What I loved about that was when it got to the He-Man part, the live chat actually went nuts because they're getting to watch He-Man again.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there that are like, "Sweet He-Man," and I'm like, okay, 10 years ago that would have been a laughing point maybe for some people, and instead now there's people who are actually excited for the next story of this. So there you go.
That's right. The cyclical nature of things.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was just gonna pretty much piggyback on that too with we all wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Masters of the Universe doing this. I mean, really, it was this Origins line coming out that brought me back into collecting. It brought me into watching this guy's videos on how to make a cool custom playset. And then I started watching his lives and chatting with him. And that brought us to doing the Wondar Open. And at that same time, I started watching this other really cool show that this guy over here was doing called Powers of Eternia.
No, Collectors of Power.
Collectors of Power. My bad. Powers of Eternia was the other one that we did. Collectors of Power. And talking to this guy. And this guy and the Dooch, these guys, they helped me a lot through COVID, talking, about Legends of Grayskull, and catching and listening to the podcast. And then this guy right here, been reading his website as a resource, which feels like for 100 years, and he's responsible for like 90% of the crap that I know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it blows my
brought us all
mind.
together.
Yeah, it blows my mind when every time all 5 of us are in the room together, it blows my mind, like the kind of relationship that I've had with all of you, all through Masters, and how like beautiful that is.
Yep.
Looks like you got a competitor there. Eternian Royalty's been collecting since '98, Bobby.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
what do you say? He started eBay. Yeah, I was using those toy collector magazines, those newspapers.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm just
Oh my
kidding. No, but I did. I used to use the toy. I used to use the toy shop magazines. They're like a big newspaper magazine, all paper.
I
and
remember
you had to call people up and
Yep.
yeah. No, that's good
God,
though. Yeah, '98. That was a good year.
He's got a lot of that.
Calling
really
people up
cool-
on his rotary phone.
Rotary
Yeah.
phone, yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys collect Star Wars, but that Brian's Toys, you ever deal with them?
Oh, yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
call them up and say, hey, what do you got? And the guys out, you can hear they're all playing cards and stuff. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll send that to you in an envelope and all that. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll send you the money order.
Yeah.
All that
Yeah.
old shit.
She had to use a money order.
Yep.
You didn't want to
I'm
send a
s-
personal check through the mail.
Yeah, no personal checks.
I'm so glad we're not in that era anymore.
I know money orders.
So
what a
much
pain
so.
it is.
So much more secure when I see that PayPal notification go
Yeah,
through.
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Well, there's people popping in now. This is cool. We got Punk with Toys. Good to
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody else here that showed up a little while ago. Broman.
Well, our good,
Broman.
I was
Yeah,
going to
say
say,
hi to
our good friend Broman came in as well. I mean, the chat
So-
just grows as the show goes on. You guys all make
Mhm.
fun of me for doing 6-hour live streams, but it's crazy how, as the chat goes on, next thing you know, more people are showing up. So
I'm just amazed that people sit down and watch you for 6 hours. That's what
It's
Well,
true.
amazing. It's
I
amazing.
would tell you
People think so.
when you watch it, like I'll be listening to it and half watching sometimes at work, and Fridays I work from home, so I can do that. Like,
Yeah.
it really is. You can see why. You can see why people who aren't exhausted like me in the middle of the night can actually stick it out, and it's fun conversation.
Yeah.
And the only reason why we make fun of you, Oz, at least I can speak for myself. The only reason I make fun of you is because it's completely insane, and I'm jealous of anybody who has the insanity to do something that rad.
That's why I do. I do
yeah.
it exactly the same because my
Yeah.
back would not be able to handle sitting down in a
Oh,
chair
I
for that long.
can't do it
I'd be like,
either.
oh my god.
I start
already
to,
do it
you
for
see me
work.
start to do this in our show, like I'm doing this because I can't. Like,
Well, that's why I sit
Your
like
butt
this
falls
sometimes. It stretches my back. I'm not trying to be a jerk ass or nothing. I'm just it stretches my back out.
That's the thing.
And
You guys
Adam-
just
Adam-
listen, and you're not watching me as I'm doing this all night.
I mean, it's extraordinary, and at some point, someone is going to put you on the news, my friend, and be
Yeah.
like, "This person does these 6-hour live streams, and they talk about toys." And
That's what you got to do. You got to do like a
it's
48-hour thing or something.
They do a
just
marathon.
just go on.
Oz, don't do it. You don't want to hurt yourself, man.
Look,
You'd lose his voice halfway through.
Yeah.
there's been talk. Okay, that's
I'll even join you for a little bit, like 20
gotta
minutes.
well, we got a particular season coming up, and there's been some rumblings with other channels about what we could possibly do, what we could possibly conjure, and everybody's voted, or everybody's thinking that I'm just going to go for the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Lawrence is pulling it up here because he does his toy ramblings on Monday nights, where it's just him in the chat.
Yeah.
For like 3+ hours, going on 4 hours sometimes. He wants to see me do a 6-hour stream alone.
I know you can do it, my friend.
I was going to say, I definitely can do that. Because
anything is possible.
Well, the conversation's just different as opposed to the conversation happening with me amongst people here. It's me having that same conversation with everybody in the chat.
Oh, or here's another challenge. You can't converse with the chat. Let's see what kind of dialogue you can have with yourself for 6 hours and see where you are at the end of that.
Look, the last time I was doing that, I was in a hospital and they told me I'm not supposed to do that.
Oh man.
And I do take some breaks here and there lately too. I've definitely been at that point now where I will get up and take a break while everybody continues on without me for a bit. I have been putting some breaks in. That's more due to my vices than anything else, though.
Yeah, it also helps when you got 10 other people in there too.
Yeah, exactly.
It does. I've got people that can carry the show because it's not like if I'm doing a solo stream, there is no me taking a break in the middle of it and walking off and going to the bathroom or going outside. That's, just dead air time. It's going to be me the whole time talking. So,
yeah.
Oh man.
You know what's really sweet about the 5 of us is that each one of us has a Castle Grayskull behind us.
Yeah.
That is adorable.
Hysterical.
I used to have one, but now it's just a picture.
Yeah,
okay.
That
Picture's
counts.
worth 1,000 words.
Yeah. I specifically angled myself today so it would be behind my shoulder like Shawn's.
Oh.
And I like that it's a different Castle Grayskull too.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Adam's got the prototype style. I've got the latest with Origins. Skelly's got vintage, and Shawn has classics.
Well, check this out. What's even cuter is that you 3 up there have your Grayskulls to the your what is that? Your left.
Our left.
And Bobby and I have them to the to our rights.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We are adorable.
We are adorable.
I mean, Shawn did the same thing.
Totes adorable.
Well, all right, guys. What do you have coming up for yourselves? What's on the agenda? I know, Shawn, you and Matt just launched a new episode.
We did last week. I think we're going to be doing a new one this coming week.
Nice.
We reviewed issue 2 of Forge of Destiny last time, and then tomorrow night is Off-World, and I'll be there for that. We're going to be talking about what was it now? I know we're doing the review of Bright Knight. Oh, and Ahsoka. We are going to be talking about the whole series of Ahsoka too.
You are going to be talking about Fright Night?
Mm-hmm. That was my Have You Ever part.
Oh, that's right. Oh gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
We watched Cloak and Dagger, which was written by the same Tom Holland who wrote and I think he directed Fright Night too. And that made me just go, okay, Curtis, you got me to watch that. I'm making you watch Fright Night because that's the one I know.
It's a
masterpiece.
Good movie.
Masterpiece.
Yep. Roddy McDowell. Yeah, I love him.
So good. So good. How about the rest of you guys?
I've got most recently an article about Optic on my blog.
Awesome.
If you want to check that out.
Yes.
And then I've got a couple of things that are kind of in the works that are semi-official sort of projects or contributions to projects, but I can't say anything about either of them. I can just sort of humble brag that something's potentially coming up.
Very cool. That's exciting.
That's awesome. Yeah, it is. I love that Adam gets involved in a lot of that stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
He's a great guy.
Bobby, Oz, how about you guys?
I'll take the stage. So, of course, coming up this weekend, we'll be doing the Ostradamus Toys Clubhouse, where this weekend we will definitely be talking about. We're going to be hosting a new Legions class episode, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Reinforcement 2 wave that is just coming to drop this upcoming Saturday. that's actually going to be kickstarting at 8 p.m. So it's going to go live about an hour earlier than usual. Well,
Very
2 hours
cool.
if you consider how late I am. And then, of course, after that, it'll be going on for a couple hours where it'll be focused talk about Legions. And then it'll slowly devolve into the clubhouse hangout that it normally is, where I'll be putting together a mountain. I'll be building a mountain in my bedroom. It's going to be awesome. And of course, then throughout the weekend, I'm always doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You never know where I'll turn up next. Like this past weekend ended up being and hanging out with Toy Habits on Sunday. You know, I get invited all over the place, and that's one of the most fun parts about doing ToyTube is just being able to show up randomly everywhere. Oh, here it is. Thanos already said, coming up this weekend, I will be on every YouTube channel between now and Sunday. Because that's really about how it goes. It is, especially Sunday. It's a very, very busy day. I get around quite a lot. As a matter of fact, most of the time you don't actually even see me on the channel. I'm just breezing through going, hello, and then I'm off to the next channel.
Someone's got to do it.
That's right, man. They call me the Streak. Oh, wait, no, that was a different thing.
It's a streak.
So
Bodysuit man
coming up.
Yeah.
You'll definitely be seeing me soon. Going to be hanging out doing some coloring with Allison coming up very soon.
Cool.
That's coming up. As a matter of fact, speaking of the Let's Go Off World, I'm going to be squeezed in with these guys pretty soon on Let's Go Off World one Friday night. That's going to be a lot of fun.
That's cool. Can't wait for that. I'll go real quick because Bobby, you got a big announcement. I'm excited to hear. Mine's just a small one. I got a Weekly Weirdo coming up this Sunday, I think. And the new episode of Cambridge and with Shawn has been on there since the first week of October. So listen to those episodes, that podcast. Go over and what's it called? Do the plus sign on your podcast for Cambridge and with Shawn, and follow it, and make a comment. I think that if you like this show, you're going to enjoy that.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a lot of fun, and yeah, that's it.
If you grew up anywhere between the 70s and 80s, Cambridge and with Shawn is for you to listen to.
Yeah.
And even for, some of you guys who may have been like early 90s babies, like late 80s babies, you can still relate to a lot of stuff because you remember it.
Yeah. And my co-host Mark and I, we're obsessed with stuff from all over different eras too. Like I know that we're going to be recording an episode here pretty soon, either this weekend or next weekend, and I'm going to be talking about my obsession with Ed Wood movies. So stuff like that. It's not just toys. It's and not just from a particular era. It's just like what were we obsessed with?
You dress up like Glenn and Glenda, don't you?
For that, yeah, and you just can't see it. I'm doing that right now. You just can't tell.
No, you got the dress at the bottom, the skirt, skirt and the heels.
From here down, it's all Angora, like Shawn said.
He's got the wig.
You need to stop listening to it and start watching it. Apparently,
that's right. Yeah, Ace just said, "Oh man, Ed Wood." Yeah, so now's the time to follow the Cambridge and with Shawn podcast and listen to all that stuff. Yeah. Shawn, you made a really nice comment on that on Cambridge and with Shawn. I really appreciate that.
It's a great listen. Like every time that you put out a new episode, that's like, okay, first thing I'm listening to is that, because the nostalgia trip that you guys take me on, even if I didn't grow up with whatever you guys might be talking about, you make me feel I did.
No, that's cool.
One way or the other, it clicked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Thank you, Shawn.
No problem.
All right, Bobby, what do you got coming up?
Oh, shit, I gotta go. So I'll say it next week.
What's this? Oh, shit. I
don't even wear a watch. Yeah, just still working on my punk rock CDs Instagram account. I also put it on Twitter, but I can care less about Twitter. But I'm working hard on that one. I enjoy doing that. It's a lot of fun. But I'm also starting up a new thing for my YouTube channel. Finally, something I know everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, we'll wait for another year to hear this," but it is going to happen in a couple weeks. I'll have my first episode out. I'm going to be doing a narration of stories I've written. It's going to be a crime noir horror series. I'm really looking forward to that, and I think you guys will enjoy it if you like stuff like that. So it's like a crossover with like what Dick Tracy's Sin City, Hellboy, and Universal Monsters, something like that.
Yeah, love it.
Nice.
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so if you want, you can go ahead and sub to my channel or whatever. It's up to you guys.
Yeah. So
Again, you're like Skele with the sales. Yeah.
I don't like to make people do it if they don't want to. You know.
You two guys.
Use guys.
Speaking of things that doing speaking of things that you don't have to do, 4 of us have Patreons right down below. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon member of any of our channels, that gains you entry into our ongoing dialogue and that we have elsewhere on Discord and Instagram. So yeah, you're more than welcome to contribute. Of course, we welcome it. You get little goodies and little extra things. Like Bobby, you released an early release of your trailer.
Yes, I did.
For your show to your patrons. I'm a patron of Bobby's.
Yes, he is.
It's cool. We try and do our best. Because your little contribution really helps the channel and helps us each accomplish our creative goals. It also helps us buy stickers, which come back to you because you get stickers if you become a patron. So and then I make little artworks like I'll ask you a character that you would like me to paint, and I'll paint one and send it your way. Little things like that. And I got to mention, you don't have to do that. Just being here means the world to us. So yes. You showing up every week when we do this, it warms our elderly hearts and keeps us going. So thank you all so much for being here. Every one of you you're just awesome. And yes. It's just phenomenal. It blows my mind. Go down there and subscribe to Bobby's YouTube channel. Go over to Battle Ram blog and check out what Adam has going over there. Like we've said, it's just like an epic archive of integral information. Definitely head over to the Legends of Grayskull podcast YouTube channel and subscribe to them. I listen to them primarily, but when I want to see their faces, I turn on the YouTube channel, and I love that because they're also a podcast. So it's YouTube and podcast. And definitely go over and subscribe to Oz's channel too, because you want those 6-hour streams. It's true. It's pure gold. So
you'll even prolapse about it.
That's 10 times I've been counting. 10 times.
Only 10.
Let's leave.
We should be like Pee-wee's Playhouse, where you freak out when a certain word is said.
The word of the day.
I am freaking out. I am freaking out when certain words are said. You just can't see it. I'm sweating, like pouring sweat down my armpits. But hey, all about the villains.
That's right. Welcome. Mentioning about the live streams, and the current record is 8 hours.
Yeah. All right. That's right. I forgot.
That's it? 8 hours, really?
I mean, if you want to count up the total amount of hours that I go streaming through the weekend.
No, I know that, but I mean, you come close already. So I mean, what's another hour?
Oh yeah. I know I've done 8 hours before. That's the longest I've done. So just trying to
I thought he meant like on YouTube itself.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've done 8 hours already, and chances are by the end of this year, I will probably have done 48 to 72 hours straight.
I can't even
And I
concentrate
think
at work for 8 hours.
I know. Here I am thinking that after what Shawn said about what he's been watching the Universal Monsters movies because 'tis the season, I'm thinking like my work day tomorrow, working from home. I'm thinking about having those movies on. I can't imagine a day of streaming and being able to come up with things to talk about because my brain just doesn't work that way. So having movies on and stuff like that helps. But Oz, you got the group that joins you, and I think you got to change the name of those shows to like a day with Oz instead of
It's called the Clubhouse now because that's really what it is. It's a hangout space where people just come and you hang out and you unwind and just chillax and talk about whatever. And I mean, there are people here in the chat who've gone on with me from the full stream, like Thanos Copter's a trooper. He'll hang out for a full stream. But Kayla, who was here earlier, Allison, who's here, they've both jumped in for several hours. Mike, Eternian Royalty, he's joined in for several hours on a stream and all like that, and it was great. We enjoy having it. I know Joe Gonzalez, he's come on a couple times now and hung out with us. And coming up this upcoming weekend, do want to bring this up again. We're popping Nolan's cherry.
What, you're going to be eating fruit? I don't get it.
Yes, we're going to eat fruit on us on the Clubhouse. No, Nolan will be joining us live this Saturday.
That's fantastic.
He's finally going to be coming on.
That's big.
So,
that's big. That's awesome, Nolan.
That's one of the reasons why we are doing the kind of double header show that we're doing. This is one of the main reasons that it's going to be. We're going to start off at Legion's class because this just worked out for everybody's availability. And then it was like, well, we're not passing up on the idea of having Nolan do his live debut this weekend. So Nolan is definitely joining us. And that's going to be phenomenal because he's finally going to go live and hang out.
That's awesome, Nolan.
Yes, it is.
That's fantastic. So on that note, what?
Well, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody here.
Is that in my head?
No, I went ding.
Oh, okay.
So, I want to give a big shout out to everybody here hanging out with us tonight. Thank you all for being here. It's great to see you.